Showtime.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Welcome to the Hot Rocket Sports Studios and another edition of the weekly video recap. March 31st.
Hey baby, tell me what's your name. From the way you look and the way you dress, I can tell you ain't got no shame, and that's alright. Well, I'm just a man. Say you're from the city where it all moves so fast. With your fancy cars and your diamond rings, you don't need a love to last, and that's alright. Well, I'm just a man, yeah, yeah. So take me home tonight, like you know that you should. When you're ready to yourself and give it, give it to me good. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just a rocker. Got much to say. Never did things by the rules, always did things my own way, and it's alright. That's the way I am, and
But hey, enough of my yakking. What do you say? Let's boogie.
And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another Thursday night edition of the Hard Rock and Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rock and Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 3-hour weekly get-together. We bring you all the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports, and throwing some wrestling, too. Again, welcome to Thursday night, guys. It's rainy, thundery Thursday, June the 3rd, middle of the year, already there. A little bit of a Macho Man twang to that. Yeah. Gotta love the Macho Man. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys had a great week. It's been good weather. I don't know if the weekend was a little shitty with the weather, but I hope you had a nice Memorial Day weekend. It's hard to say nice Memorial Day weekend and a happy Memorial Day weekend when it's really what we're celebrating is the people who've given their lives for us. But, you know, we've kind of made it into a traditional backyard barbecue, family get-together. And hopefully people are celebrating the people who have given their lives, so we can have those amazing things in our life. Even though your boy sleepy creepy Uncle Joe Biden is looking to take them all away from us, but no politics tonight, folks. We got a lot to get today. Robert, how are you doing, buddy? Can't wait for the CD. Looking forward to the new Leonard Anthony CD, Robert. Let's get it going, baby. But yeah, guys, we got a lot of sports to get to tonight. We got some music stuff to get to. It's coming back more and more. We got concerts that are being announced. And we got plenty of talk, but we're going to start off the show with a little bit of a tribute to the one and only, the great Lou Gehrig. Lou, who passed away June the 2nd, I think it's 1941. But Major League Baseball finally came to their senses, and they had a day yesterday, kind of honored Lou, a little awareness for ALS. I think it's amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. I can never say that properly. Commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. So good for Major League Baseball. I did like the fact that they didn't put everybody wearing the number 4 jersey. I thought that would have been a nice touch. But take what we can get, folks. A little love for Lou, Larapin Lou. Probably one of the best players ever to play the game. Unfortunately, taken from us way too early. We'll get into a little bit of the life of Lou Gehrig. Did a little research. Found out some interesting tidbits. We'll get to that. We're going to talk USFL. We're going to talk about NFL. We got, let's see what else I got in my tab. We'll talk Mets, Yankees. Let's see. The Edmonton Eskimos. Yep, we're going to talk a little bit about the Edmonton Eskimos. You'll ask me why later. I'll tell you why later. We're going to talk about where's my notes, man? Where'd all my notes go? Hold on a second here, Stymie. Let's see. We're missing some. Okay, no, that's not the minutes. Where are my notes? Okay, let's see. Belichick. We'll talk Vince Neil, Kiss biopic, GNR Summer Stadium tour. Robert Saleh is a douche, and so much more. When we kick the show off right now. Again, remember, guys, June 12th, the boys from Black Sasquatch, my good friends Ted and Bub and the boys at Buzzbin at 331 Cleveland Avenue, Canton, Ohio, with So High. That's right, Black Sasquatch, So High, June 12th at the Buzzbin in Cleveland on Cleveland Avenue in Canton, Ohio. So make sure you guys check out the two great bands and friends of the show. So lots to talk about, lots to do. Let's get it kicked off tonight with bringing on the one and only, the maestro himself, Jeff Joe Willie Namath Tolwinski. What's up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
What's up, Hefe? How was your week?
Another fucked up week, but what are you going to do?
Well, let's see if we can put you in a better mood. I know you weren't in exactly the best mood today, and sounds like you've had a bad week. So
yeah, it was a week, man. But
yeah.
Thank God it's over.
All right, well, it is. You officially off of your usual Friday, Saturday days off?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yes, I am.
That's good. Well, listen, it could be worse. It could be worse. That's all I can tell you.
I heard your little slip, your little jab.
Wait, how I'm offended.
I don't give a fuck if you're offended or not, man. Robert Saleh, what was that? Is a jerk off or whatever?
No, I never said that. I said he's a douche. What
is it you said?
I said he's a douche.
A douche. Okay, same thing. Whatever.
Yeah, he's a douche. But
why?
I don't want to speak about it. We'll get to his douche.
You know why? Because you're still thinking of why you said.
No, I know exactly why. It's right now. It's about a celebration. It's about the beauty of Lou Gehrig. And I wanted to kick the show off with Lou Gehrig. Major League Baseball, Jeff, finally, for the first time in a few years, has done something right. And they gave us Lou Gehrig Day yesterday around Major League Baseball. And I didn't think it was done, enough was done, but it was nice to at least be able to say June 2nd, 2021 was officially Lou Gehrig Day in Major League Baseball. Way too late.
Well, if you got to look at it this way, better late than never, because
yes,
what happens now? What about Babe Ruth? What about Hank Aaron? What about Ted Williams? What about, all of the old timers, Yogi Berra, Tony Lazzari, Joe DiMaggio, you keep going on and on, Hannes Wagner, all day long. With what about days for this one, days for that one? But at least, like you said, he was recognized, and I feel as though that he should have been recognized.
Oh, absolutely.
For a lot of different reasons. I think, in my estimation, and we've discussed this several times, he's definitely one of the top 5, if not top player of all time. If I would have loved to have seen if he played a full career where he would have stood.
Well,
Major League royalty.
He didn't get to play till he was 36, so it wasn't like he finished playing at 29. So let's be
very true.
He got it. His 162 game average is amazing to me. 204 hits, 40 doubles. Average, if this is an average for a 162 game season, 12 triples and 37 home runs and 149 RBIs. I mean, that is insanity right there.
Yeah, doing all of this too. This is why I give him the nod as the best ball player of all time, Major League Baseball player. Doing this with Babe Ruth on his team.
Yeah, bro. I mean, and Jeff, over 162 game average, he averaged 59 strikeouts for a season.
That's insane. That's like almost one every 3 games, just about, or a little bit more than 1.3 games, or you know what I mean?
I mean, he had years 73, 84, 69, 68, 63, 56, 38, 42. He hit 349 with 38 strikeouts. He averaged 113 walks versus 59 strikeouts. Today's day and age, you get superstars that are striking 150 times.
What is Lou Gehrig, according to modern day salaries? What is Lou Gehrig getting a year?
With those numbers, if he put up those numbers today, I got to tell you, he's $40 million.
You think?
Well, I mean, they're paying some of these guys 30 plus now.
Do you think he gets signed to a 15-year contract with numbers like that?
The kid from the Mets, Lindor, is a great shortstop and has been a really good hitter. He's getting he signed a 10-year, $341 million contract. He's batting 189.
Nice. Maybe one day he'll hit 200.
Mike Trout, who I consider the best player in baseball, I believe is averaging over 120 strikeouts a year. Mike Trout's getting $37 million a year.
It's insane.
What's up, Patrick? Hey, Frank Catalano, Robert. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging there. Yeah, but, there's so much, you got to think of it this way. Now, I think everybody's a fan of Cal Ripken. I'm not the hugest fan of Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken, over the course of his streak, played great to good to not very good. And he got older, and the streak, I think, robbed him of some of maybe some extra greatness. Now he's a Hall of Famer. Nobody's taking that away. But when you look at the last few years of Lou Gehrig, Jeff, I mean, I'll give you the last couple of years, just quick numbers. So his 33, 34, and 35 year, that's his birth years. He had 176 hits, 205 hits, 200 hits, 26, 37, and 30. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go back. 40, 26, and 37 doubles. 49, 30, and 49 home runs. 166, 120, 152 RBIs, hitting 363, 329, 354. This is, the guy's 33, 34, 35 years old, and he still has tremendous numbers. I'm a
Oh,
little
without a doubt. But let me ask you, didn't Cal Ripken near the end of his streak,
Mhm.
wasn't he playing like half games and stuff like that at times?
I can't really say that. I know they moved him to third base. He wasn't exactly finishing every game. Lou Gehrig, there's some stories that I was reading today. He got hit in the head in a game and finished it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of things here in his streak. Try to find it real quick. Okay, on April 23rd, 1933, a pitch by Washington Senators pitcher Ed Whitehill struck Gehrig in the head. Although almost knocked unconscious, he remained in the game.
And keep in mind, the only thing they wore was their baseball cap. They didn't have helmets back then.
Exactly.
So when he got hit in the head, he got hit in the fucking head.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who just came to work, played every day, could have did it better, and then listen. In his afterlife, the guy became the commissioner of parole. He was actually a member, the commissioner of parole, and would go out and try to talk to youths and deal with people eligible for parole. This is a guy who, in the end of his life, was still at a $5,700 a year job just because he wanted to help out. And in fact, he helped one kid who later became Rocky Graziano, the middleweight champ.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, Rocky Grant. He was one of the East Side kids, and Gehrig would spend a lot of time down there and try to talk to kids and keep them out of trouble. And one of the guys who came out and said that he helped him was Rocky Graziano, who goes by who his real name is like Thomas Barbarella or something crazy. But it's such an amazing thing to look at the stats of Lou Gehrig, and then when you compare them to what the guys are doing today and the guys who are superstars, and you're telling me a guy like Lindor, who I'm not knocking as not a good player, don't get me wrong, or Mike Trout, I think he's the best player in the game today. Their stats pale in comparison to what this guy was doing, playing every single day, traveling by train, heavy uniforms, all day games. Jeff, I don't think he gets enough credit.
No, I hear you, dude. I hear you. It's to me, I think that he, like I said, definitely a top 5 of all time, if not the greatest of all time. I mean, the guy just the numbers he was putting up and the amount what he did for his team, what he meant to his team.
Yeah.
And in the infancy of Major League Baseball, so to speak, baseball was less than 50 years old when he was playing. It was probably 30, 40 years old when he was playing.
Probably.
Maybe not even that old. And, thanks to him and, he put it on the map. He helped, build a sport.
Yeah. No, Frank Catalano, I don't disagree. I think Roberto Clemente was a great player. I don't have the affection for him that I do for Lou Gehrig because he's a Yankee. But listen, I think a lot of these guys should have days and they should be celebrated. Now, some of them, like Jackie Robinson, should be done every year. I think they're going to be doing the Lou Gehrig one every year. But I don't have a problem if 4, 5, 6 times a year they have different dates for some of these guys and celebrate. I think, Jeff, the one thing I love about some of the sports, baseball is probably the one sport that celebrates, its history. Football only celebrates the Super Bowl era. You never hear about
you don't hear anything before that. Football never happened before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Patrick, you're 100% right. It seems like that in a lot of sports, not just baseball, every sport, it's all about protecting the big name players and the big money players, because if they get hurt, that's it. They're still getting paid, and it's going to hurt the team in the long run. And it's a shame that it's gotten out of hand. But you can't blame the players for the owners offering the money, and you can't blame the players for taking it. If my boss said to me he'll give me $50 million a year to do my job tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I'll take it.
But there's got to be a reasonable expectation of earning that. Like I'm watching right now the papers and the Yankees played Aaron Judge in center field one game, and it was like mass hysteria. And I get it because he's got such an injury history that the last thing you want to do. But what do you do, Jeff? You're paying these guys big money. They're your superstars. What do you do? Put them in bubble wrap and put them on the bench, and break them out in case of an emergency only. I mean, it's at some point these guys got to stay on the field and play baseball.
No, without a doubt, they have to stay on the field. I mean, I remember when I was into baseball, heavily into baseball when I was a kid, like everybody else, the '78 Yankees. if one of them wasn't on the field, it was for a damn good reason. Now it seems as though that these guys get a day off here and there, like a lot more expected than the old timers did, and makes you wonder just how tough they are as athletes, or can they even be considered athletes at this point in time in your eyes?
Again, you want, we talk about it all the time, and I always say that these guys are tremendous athletes, but they're not the baseball players of past, and I still believe in that. But when you look at these guys in there, and they're all missing 30 and 40 games, and they can't play because they got oblique strains and quad injuries. I mean, you're looking at Stanton, and the guy can't stay in the field.
It's unbelievable, man.
And again, I don't blame. See, I don't blame the players for taking the money. I don't blame the players for asking for the money. I blame the owners, because we all, as fans, bitch and complain about the money these guys are making. The owners are not happy with the money the players are making, yet somebody keeps offering it. If you don't offer, Cano 10 years, do you think the Seattle Mariners, Jeff, are happy they offered Cano 10 years and $300 million, and the guy barely played? I think the Mets are going to lose the deal, because these deals never come and pay off. I've yet to see one that paid off. I love Gina.
Maybe A-Rod is the only one that paid off in the long.
And even A-Rod toward the end, had a lot of problems. The first A-Rod contract, I would say, paid off. The 10-year, $250 million. The second one the Yankees gave him, I didn't understand, and I don't think it paid off. But you're right, Jeff. The A-Rod one may be one of the few that ever paid off. And even Trout, it misses games all the time. They don't make the playoffs. So I don't understand the 10-year, $350 million investment on a player that you just know when he gets to be 35, 36 is going to be a hindrance. And most of them know that. Hey,
I guess you got to think of it this way, okay? You're signing a guy for a 10-year deal when he's 25, 26 years old, okay? Yeah. So now you expect him to play till he's 35, 36 years old. So now you get any guy, use A-Rod as an example, okay? Yes, in his $250 million deal, $25 million seems like a lot the first couple of years of that deal, okay? But if he stayed on the course, and say you expected him in 7 to 8 years, you expect him to like completely, start to slow down and fall apart. That the last 2 years of the deal, you're like, I can't wait to get rid of him. But by year 6 and 7, if you're still paying him $25 million, you're assuming that the market is probably going to be 30 to 35 million, if not more, by the time that player reaches the 6th and 7th years of his deal, making that kind of money. So if you sign him to that deal, at first people will be like, what are you doing? That's insane. But if he's still putting up numbers and he's still playing good and he's worth his while, then you look like a genius for doing it.
I got you, but there's been Pujols' contract was a bust. Cano's contract's been a bust. I get you on your, and you're right.
These guys were also signed when they were a little bit older too to these deals, weren't they?
I mean, Cano was 28, I think 29. I mean, now he's 30.
Right, so why would you sign a 28, 29-year-old player to a 10-year deal? Maybe a 7-year deal.
I got you, but the problem is they're signing the deals, and so now you listen. If you tell me in the first 3 or 4 years you got a couple World Series out of it, and then you got to eat the end of the contract, I get it. But Pujols didn't come near the numbers in California that he did.
No, he didn't. And Frank Catalano agrees with me what I said about taking the more money, which is basically what we're saying here.
Sure,
but it's somewhere along the line they got to think that I may get a savings somewhere down the line. Okay, it may seem a lot that I'm paying $25 million, but I'm paying $25 million this year. But next year, the highest paid player in the league is going to make $28 million, and the year after that, he's going to make $31 million. And the next thing you know, within 4 or 5 years, now your salary's down here, the league salary is over here.
I got you.
So that's the only way that you could think,
I understood, and I want to get my dad on that in a second. Go back to Lou Gehrig a little bit, but I would rather see them say, okay, the guy wants 10 years at $30 million. I'm going to give you $35 million, but I'm going to give you 5 years, and then after that, if you're still playing good ball, we'll talk about another contract. And I understand why the players wouldn't want to do it, but if I'm an owner, I can't give you a contract that 6, 7, 8 years in. You're right, Jeff. It may be scale lower, but you're not getting anything out of it.
Well, like you just said, if you turn around and you're getting, 2 or 3 trips to the World Series of a 7-year deal, you get to the World Series 3 times before year 5, and you win 2 of those 3. What are your thoughts there?
I'm loving it. Then the contract's worth it. I'll eat the end of the contract.
And isn't it a shame
Mm-hmm.
that you would look at it that way on some levels, because you're signing this guy to 7 years, you're expecting 7 years out of him.
Sure.
But maybe you're getting 5 good years,
maybe,
and 2 years where you're like, okay, we got to start thinking what's going to be next with this guy.
Yeah.
And it's a shame but it is what it is. And that's the way that the sports world is. Certain positions are just going to make the money, and people are going to pay so that they get the superstar.
Agreed, 100%. And again, I don't blame anybody but the owners for it. The players are getting exactly what they're supposed to try to get, the most they can get. And if there's a rogue owner out there who wants to pay it, that's up to them. But guys, Hard Rocket Sports, we're glad you're here on a Thursday night. A little bit of a stormy night out here in Monroe Township, New Jersey. So I'm glad you guys are sticking with us. I know there's a lot on tonight. You got some basketball. You got the Island. I think the Islanders are playing tonight. Game 3 of their series against the Boston Bruins. They're all tied up at 1. Unfortunately, the Knicks are out. We'll talk about that. But we're talking Lou Gehrig right now, and we'll get to a lot of other stuff tonight as we continue right here on the Hard Rocket Sports Show. Jeff, Tom, and all of you right here on the Hard Rocket Sports Show. No, go do what you got to do. It's up. I mean, if you want to push the limits, that's going to be up to you. But if I see a streak as you're running, I'm going to have to log you off. We have some fun here behind the scenes of the Hard Rocket Sports Show. Let's get my dad on. Let's get his take on not only Lou Gehrig and Lou Gehrig Day, but Major League Baseball a little bit. Yankees, they've been inconsistent. What's up, Pop?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'm listening to you about Lou Gehrig. I found out some things which I didn't know. That the reason why they used Lou Gehrig and gave him a day, that they don't know, they still don't know anything about it. They know the same thing now that they did when he died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're trying to raise awareness for ALS. Yes.
Awareness for it. And you couldn't get nobody better than Gehrig. And it's a shame because he was a great, great ball player.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because, like Jeff said, he played with Ruth. He didn't get that he should have got.
Oh, absolutely.
He's considered one of the best ball players. And compared to today, I got to tell you, Tommy, I swear to you, I don't know how I watch baseball anymore. I have never seen such. I mean, I worked. I mean, we all played for coaches, and my coach used to say, if you get thrown out or you do something stupid because you're pushing the limit, I understand it. But when you get thrown out or something, and because of stupidity,
oh please,
and oh my God,
yeah, I know.
It's like watching Little League. Little League, baby league.
Yeah,
hitting off the tee.
Yeah, I'm watching Sanchez this week. I mean, he had about 4 different base running blunders. And I can't figure this out. Now I know that Higashioka is not hitting exactly, tearing the cover off the ball. But if I'm a Yankee pitcher, I want him behind the plate. I watched Sanchez the other night, and the biggest sin for me, and I've said this a million times on the show, Jeff, my biggest sin, if you're a ball player, is laziness. But especially as a catcher. As a catcher, you're involved in every play. You have to hustle. Blocking pitches is throwing your body at it. And this guy is the worst catcher I have seen in a long time. I mean, he makes Mike Piazza look like Johnny Bench. And for the life of me, Dad, neither one of the Yankee catchers are hitting. I at least would play Higashioka so you get some defense out there.
Well, did you see the play he did? He opened up with a double. They had first and second, okay? And the ball was hit in front of him to the shortstop. And he's running to the base, to third base. And then the other jerk behind him, Torres, starts running to... Now, what you do is if you're going to watch this idiot make a mistake, at least go to... He gets halfway down, he stops, turns around and runs back to first. And Sanchez gets thrown out by third by a country mile.
Yep, terrible.
You say to yourself, what is wrong with you? And then they get picked off bases. It's like they don't know anything about baseball.
Fundamentals.
They really don't. It's like here's a bat. Go play baseball.
Yeah, I've been debating it. I want to get. I'm going to reach out to a couple of friends that I know who teach baseball at the lower levels, and I want to see how they're teaching today and how it's being affected by what the kids are seeing on the thing. But two questions. That first of all, Frank Catalano is on. He's asking, who's the best player you have ever seen?
Oh God, the best.
The one guy you would say.
My favorite is
Forget about favorites.
Mickey Mantle.
I got to forget favorites. Who's the one? Yeah, go ahead.
It had to be Frank Robinson.
Frank Robinson was the best player you ever saw?
Frank Robinson. Yeah, I would say so. So you remember you went to? I took you to a couple of games with Robinson when
Yes.
Fred, what's his name? Fernandez hit the 3-run homer. He had to be. He won MVP in both leagues. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, no. Listen, you put the guy's numbers up. I never saw him other than film, so it's hard. You know, people talk about him and Henry Aaron. Of course, they throw in Mickey and.
I take nothing away from Mantle. Mantle was just man. If Robinson played in New York, he would have been much greater thought of. There were a lot of great ball players too. Richie Allen was a great ball player, but he had a piss poor attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to say, if you ask me that I'd have to say Frank Robinson.
Okay, Frank, I hope that answers your question. And Leonard, we talked about the Baez play last week with the Cubs and the Pirates, Jeff. I mean, that's just poor fundamentals. I mean, listen.
I don't understand that.
First off, I still think I didn't get a chance to look it up. I wonder if Patrick, if you looked it up, I always thought that the running back, cannot run back toward home plate. Not that it matters, because with 2 outs, all the first baseman had to do was step on first. The run could have scored 10 minutes before that. It wouldn't have mattered, no matter what happens. But yet, the minute he threw the ball to the catcher, now the whole play changes. It's one of the worst fundamentals I have ever seen, and it's just indicative of baseball today, guys. Jeff, I've never seen it so much. I'd say it's so bad.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Dad, one more question from Frank. He apologized, but I love the questions, Frank, so I'm going to keep it to my dad. He said, what did you think of Gil Hodges, and should Gil Hodges be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I thought so, without a doubt. Without a doubt. He was forget about him being a manager of the Mets. And I think without him, they never would have won. But I think just as a ball player, he was a fantastic first baseman. I mean, and that is one of the positions that I would say that that the Dodgers had over the Yankees was first base. Every other position was, I think, between Berra and Richardson and Kubek and the outfield. That was all Yankees. But Hodges just didn't get in. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I never saw anything bad, but he was a great ball player. And I think he should have been in it. I think he still should be put in.
Yeah. Again, I think as time goes on, it's harder and harder, and for that era to get people in, because the writers from that era are gone. Most of the fans from that era.
Don't know him.
So people just don't know Gil Hodges other than him as the Mets manager. I can tell you that I probably have seen very little video ever of Gil Hodges as a player. So I could look at his stats. But to me, Jeff and I talk about all the time, I don't vote on players I've never seen to get into the Hall of Fame. If I watch a guy play at least part of his career, I feel like I can make that assertion. I can get a comment on it. Jeff, how do you feel the same way?
No, not really, dude. It's hard for me to say that, because then you would be cutting yourself off from so many different players. I mean, then we wouldn't be talking about Lou Gehrig right now if that was the case, because neither one of us was alive to see him.
No, I agree with that. But if I can look at Lou Gehrig's numbers and say, no doubt in my mind, he's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, is it easier to say this? How about this?
Yeah.
In 30 years, is anybody going to be talking about Bucky Dent and he belongs in the Hall of Fame?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So something like that, a player that may be on the cusp.
Correct.
And I'm not saying Bucky Dent is, don't get me wrong, because I don't think he's a Hall of Fame caliber player. But if you get a player that is like, well, I don't know, maybe if he had 2 more good years, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe that's somebody that you have to watch to see what he did. But some of these other players, their numbers just speak for themselves.
Leonard Anthony's on there, and Frank, my dad will be happy to hear that, about your dad, and I'm glad you guys check in with us because it's a lot of fun having everybody here talking baseball. But guys, here's the thing for me. I look at these numbers for Lou Gehrig, and then I kind of compare them to some of the guys from his era. But then I look at today's players, and they're paying these guys, all this money, and you know what? I can deal with a lot of the stuff, but the game has turned into a strikeout fest. The fundamentals are gone. People don't know how to hit situational hit. Defense is bad.
Because there is no sense situational hitting anymore.
No.
It's not what the crowd wants to see. Baseball has definitely turned itself around to be a more crowd-friendly game. All right, they don't care about you and what you're looking for in fundamentals because it doesn't make them money. Nobody gives a shit about the guy that bunted in a run last night and won a game because there was a close play at the plate. But tell me that Judge hit a 579-foot home run last night, and everybody will be buying the paper or looking it up on YouTube. Nobody wants to see that.
No,
it's a shame. Because I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong.
Jeff, I agree.
Nobody cares.
Right, but who's what at this point? You're getting all the clickbait kids who are tuning into Sports Center to watch the 5 home runs that were hit last night.
Tom, isn't that more? Think about what you're saying. Isn't that more exciting than watching some guy push a ball down the line to move a guy 90 feet?
But again, who's watching baseball? Let's be honest, Dad. You're watching. I'm watching. People of my generation, maybe a little younger, your generation, you're watching. The kids today, who Jeff, you're right, they're placating to. They're not watching full baseball games.
I
highlights and
I understand all of that, but they're buying stuff and they're creating money.
I got you.
Let me ask you something. Where was the last Yankee jersey that you bought?
2 years ago, the Aaron Judge.
All right, 2 years ago. Okay. So now there's a kid that bought an Aaron Judge jersey and one of those, digital camouflage hats and, all of this other shit that they buy all year long because Judge hit another home run. Okay. And maybe he just says, yeah, I'm a Yankee fan. Judge, man, Aaron Judge. But maybe he ends up watching throughout the year 10 minutes of baseball.
Yeah.
Because he watches Sports Center. Or he goes on YouTube and he's like, oh, man, look at the shit that this guy fucking hit. Nobody cares. And I'm not trying to degrade anything, but nobody cares about this. All right, the guy had a sacrifice bunt.
But
the guy hit the ball 15 feet and moved the guy over 90 feet. Who cares?
No, I get it. But, Dad, there is such a thing. It's unwatchable. I mean, I try to watch every night the Yankees. I throw the Mets on. I watch the Mets when DeGrom pitches. I like watching the Yankees when Garrett Cole pitches. That other than that, it's tough to watch.
What it is today, it's a different type of baseball. It's what do you call it? Like just they would rather use. There's no such. I mean, I'm watching a Yankee game today. They got 2 men on base. They got the whole left side of the infield, and the whole right side is empty. All you got to do is just aim it. You got to at least a single, maybe a double. They won't do it because they'd rather you strike out 200 times.
Yeah.
You'll never see any records broken. I don't care who it is. Home runs, base hits, 20 game. You're looking at a 10-game winner.
Yeah. No,
the only thing that I got to hope is that somewhere along the line, the pendulum turns and it goes back to old-time baseball. And it's not even old baseball. We're talking about 15 years, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Baseball, today, who's the guy from the Dodgers? That big guy that they finally got rid of him. He used to lick the baseball.
Puig? Puig?
Yeah. I mean, here's a guy that he got a base hit. He went to second. The guy caught the ball or whatever the hell it was, and he ran. He didn't know enough to step on second base. He ran around the base. He's coming, and they yelled at him to touch the base because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He was too stupid because all they know is I want to hit that ball 500 feet.
Yeah.
I want to hit it. It doesn't matter if you hit it 301 or if it's 500. If it's a home run, it's a home run.
Yeah, I listen. Nobody likes. Listen. I love to watch the moonshots. I have no problem with that. In the course of a game, a ball gets hit and somebody's hitting a rocket. I think it's fun to watch. but not in place of, the one of those every 200 at bats. In the meantime, I got to see 75 strikeouts. It's boring baseball. And here's the depressing part, guys. This isn't going to change overnight. That's why I want to get somebody on who's teaching baseball now. But the young kids, the 8-year-olds, to the high school kids are being taught the same way. It's the same with football. These kids are being taught, to swing from their heels. They're not being taught all these fundamentals that you need to have or you should know. And it'll take a generation for this to turn around, Jeff. And that's the sad part.
Yeah, no, it's a shame, Tom. It's a shame. But unfortunately, the world is changing, and the world is changing because of the cell phone and everything that you can see. And nobody wants to sit and watch an entire baseball game on a cell phone. And they go to stadiums and, it's a novelty. You don't get the real fan that wants to go and buys season tickets, I bet, because they're too much money. So, you get a guy that may go a handful of games a year and he buys a couple hot dogs, a baseball, and a New Jersey for himself, and that's it.
Yeah, Jeff, Tom here, hanging out with my dad, talking Lou Gehrig and baseball. And Patrick, you got the right idea. And this year the balls are dead, and guys are still striking out because they're still swinging from their heels because they're trying to drive the ball even farther to get it out because they're not realizing that they can't. The ball's a little more dead, and there's something to it. And Leonard, I'd love to know, are the kids at that level at East Shore Little League, are they being taught the proper way to play the game, or are the fathers, the root cause of all of this? So these are a lot of questions that I would have. And listen, unfortunately, I love the game of baseball. It's near and dear to my heart, and I'll always rue the fact that the game is not played the right way anymore. The fundamentals, the respect for the game is no longer there, guys, and that's probably the biggest part for me. I watched the other day this kid Tatis hit a monster home run, and he stood at home plate just watching it, and nobody had a problem with it.
No.
No.
He would have did that years ago. Gibson would have put the ball in his ear.
Yeah.
The next time. Don Drysdale would have made him eat the ball. He'd have never did that. Today it's just because you know what? Nobody stays with a team. Don't stay with a team. Because next year I might be playing with you.
Yeah.
It's like rent the players today. I have to win, rent the players.
No,
that's what they are today. The Wolves.
Yeah, it's
half the Yankees ain't hitting 200.
Listen.
Half of them are not hitting 200.
No.
How the hell are you paying a guy that kind of money? But
yeah, Pops. I'll catch you over the weekend.
I'll talk you over the weekend. Guys, take care. Have a good one.
Thanks, Dad. That's my Pops. He checks in every Thursday night with us. Glad to have him still around. Glad to have him still on the show with us. And he checks in. They're talking, the scary part, guys, is you look up and guys are routinely 0 for 17, 1 for 20-something. And it's not like you can put him on the bench because the guy on the bench is the same thing. So, it's ridiculous. And Patrick, one of these days you gotta agree to be our rules guru. You got to come on the show when there's rules like that, for football, any of them. I know you know your sports. We need you to be our rules guy where you come on and you break it down for us because I don't understand why that's – I know in softball, if I'm not mistaken, you can't run back toward home plate, but Major League Baseball allows it. For what reason? I don't understand why you would be allowed to go retreat from first base. It makes no sense. So you're going to have to explain that to me, but you need to be part of the show that way, Patrick. So let me know if you're ever interested.
It would be cool if he comes on, man. He has a lot of knowledge, Patrick.
Yeah, listen, the guy's a Hall of Fame umpire. So, Hall of Fame ASA umpire.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Absolutely. And he was a hell of a football referee, too. So, I know that it'd be great to have him come on and explain rules to us.
Why was he a great referee, Tom? Explain. Did he tell you that you had a nice ass when you're wearing those tight pants?
You're really gonna go there. You're really gonna degrade.
I'm putting it out there. I want to know what was said on the field of play.
Patrick knew how to control a football game. He knows that you didn't call penalties on every play, and the man knew how to run a game. That's how I can tell you. My man Patrick G. Lombardo ran a football game, and I gave him some shit. He'll be the first one probably to tell you that was a bit of a dick. But Patrick, so again, Jeff and I talking here. Lou Gehrig, but to sum up the Lou Gehrig thing is this: the man put up numbers throughout his career. Was in the shadow of Babe Ruth, right, Jeff?
How many home runs did he hit? Was it 593 or was it 493?
493.
493.
493.
Just man, wow. You know, if there was one set of numbers that you could want to see him improve upon, I mean, not that there's much that he could improve upon, but I think he would have been looked at as an even more complete player if he had hit the number 500 for home runs.
I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, if you would, that was the magic number back then. So I kind of agree with you. It would be nice. But, what the number that stands out for me, that he averaged over the course of 162 games, he averaged 12 triples a season. Yet he averaged 8 stolen bases and 7 caught stealings a year. So he wasn't the fastest guy in the world.
No, you could look at him and see that he wasn't a fast guy. I mean, come on, the guy was built like a refrigerator.
Yeah, but listen, just to finish up the thing, listen, Lou Gehrig, born in New York City, I believe was in the Bronx, if I'm not mistaken, Yorkville section of Manhattan, actually. June 19, 1903, passed away June 2nd, 1941, in his house in Riverdale. By the way, his house a few years ago was up for sale for $300,000. It was basically in the same exact condition, beaten to shit up, that it was when he died.
Really?
Yeah, I found a news story online. They were trying to buy it, but I think the town or New York City wanted to make it a historic landmark, but the person who lived in it wouldn't do it. If it was up for sale, I don't know. It was crazy stuff. But
let me tell you something real quick about city landmarks. Okay, we have a few houses at my job that are considered landmarks for whatever reason. Okay, that is the last thing that you want to see happen to a house, have it become a landmark, because pretty much when they say, okay, it's a landmark, that's it. They don't do anything to the house. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's a shame. And you might as well just let it fall into disrepair. You're better off selling that house to Major League Baseball and let Major League Baseball do something with it.
Yes. No, let me explain, Leonard. BaseballReference.com takes the guy's stats for a season and then puts them in an average based on 162 games so that you can compare different eras together. So, yes, I know he only played, probably wasn't even 154 some of those years.
I think it was a $148.
Yeah, but Baseball Reference takes the stats, and so they'll take his 2,721 hits and base it on 162 games, what the average would be. So, yeah, I know he didn't play 162 games, but that's how Baseball Reference kind of takes it and makes everybody's, year kind of, you compare it. But let me run down some things.
Real quick, Tom, before you go too far past that point. I believe the difference for the amount of years that he played and everything, I believe the difference would have come out to about a season that he missed out on.
Sure.
You know what I mean? With playing between 162 and the amount of games he played. So you're talking, he pretty much missed out on one season.
Sure.
Which, isn't that bad if you think about it.
No. And then think about it. He played every single game along in those seasons. So, yeah, if you add one more season, I'm sure he gets over 500. He probably gets over 3,000 hits. The seasons were less games, but they all-time players played most games. Yes, they didn't take games. You're 100% right, Patrick. So, Jeff, Lou Gehrig's a 7-time All-Star, 6-time World Series champ, 2-time American League MVP. Now, listen to this one. He won the Triple Crown in 1934, yet was number 5 in the MVP voting.
Jeez.
Won the Triple Crown. American League batting champ in 1934, 3-time home run champ, 31, 34, and 36. 36 near the end of his career. He is literally at the end of his career, and he was the home run champ. A 5-time American League RBI leader. Hit 4 home runs in one game on June 3rd, 1932. New York Yankee captain, 35 to 39 on Monument Park. Major League Baseball All-Century team. Major League Baseball All-Time team. Inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame 1939 in a special election. It's safe to say, folks, and that's just baseball stats. When his stats for career, Jeff. Now keep in mind, less games. Only played till he was 36. 340 average, 2,721 hits, 493 home runs, and 1,995 runs batted in.
It would have been awesome if he was able to get that 7 more home runs, 5 more RBIs, and be part of the 5,000 club.
3,000 club, yeah. And
3,000.
He would have 3,000. Oh, I'm sorry. If he would need.
I was going by home runs and RBIs.
Yes, I got you. Yes, you're right. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible numbers to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think he played till he was 36. I think that was at age 36. That was his last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I just noticed what Leonard
36.
said. Leonard, St. Mary's School or the church they're tearing down? I hope it's not the church.
Come on, really?
That's he said. St. Mary's is being torn down, never declared a landmark. I know the school is old, but the church was built in like the 1800s, I believe.
That's some piece of property. Between that and the rectory, man, it's a piece of property and a half.
Let me tell you, that's going into Rosebank and you see those 2 steeples, the St. John's Lutheran Church up there and St. Mary's. It would be disgusting if that's what happened. But you know what? Mount Manrese is gone, and it's a completely different town down there now, neighborhood down there. It's a shame, but
is Mount Carmel still around?
The church. Oh,
wow.
That's it.
Wow.
Mount Carmel is still around, but I haven't heard anything about it opening this year. It was closed last year.
Yes, I know that.
And it certainly looks like it's going to be closed this year. And that's sad to see that the church.
Yeah. Listen, I spent many a Sunday in that church growing up.
Or many a Sunday allegedly in the church growing up.
Jake, Jeff, if my $2 donation every week had actually made it into the pot, maybe the church would still be open.
Well, maybe, but we don't know what they were doing with that money.
Did I ever tell you what I used to do with the envelope?
Throw it out.
Well, no. I would actually find a way. So my parents would put the $2 in the envelope with your name on it.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people put just, random singles in. So I would open the envelope, take the money out so that I can go to breakfast with the boys and throw the empty envelope in the thing. So it looked like the money fell out of the envelope.
Yeah.
But I
just got to hope that they didn't tape it shut or lick it shut. Like
never did. The tape it shut would have killed it. The lick it shut, it never stuck. So it was always a corner.
Only that little bit of tab of.
Yeah. So you cut that up, got the money out, you threw it in the thing, and it just looked like the money fell out every week.
You know what was sad?
What was sad?
If you think about it, the family, you were paying tuition. Okay. Yep. Then you were expected to go to church on Sundays, and you were being expected to pay, for the church on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
And then the school year starts.
Yep.
And what happens? You get that cute little box of envelopes that's like this big. And they were expecting the school kids to pitch in.
Yeah.
Like, do you really need my fucking quarter, bro? Or whatever it is that I'm putting in the envelope. You know what I mean? And then there was the suggested donation.
Yes, suggested.
That you should be donating 10% of your salary or 5% of your salary to the church every year.
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed to write that much off on my fucking taxes now.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it was good times. Good times, but yes, a lot of fake church trips back in the day. Nick's was the Church of Fries. Out to Caltawise for some basketball.
Yeah, with buckwheat presiding over the mass.
That's exactly right. But Hot Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom here on a Thursday night with you guys. Thanks for being part of it. Having some fun with everybody talking. One of these weeks we're going to get like Frank and Leonard and Patrick and a bunch of people, do a little round table, have everybody on the show and have some fun with it. But Patrick, like I said, if you're ever interested, we'd love to have you as our official rules guy. So, but and Leonard, Cardinals appeal. Oh, so
there was that too. The Cardinals appeal that usually meant that there was a special envelope for the week, and then sometimes this week there's a second collection. Basically it was all about money. We'll give you a little snack to hold you over till Sunday dinner, but bring money with you.
Leonard, were you a St. Mary's or a St. Joseph's guy? I was a St. Mary's guy. Jeff was a St. Joseph's guy.
Well, I was St. Mary's guy too at one point.
Oh, because you were hanging out with us while going to church.
Oh, no, I was asked to leave.
Were you really?
St. Mary's, somewhat, yeah. Yeah, it didn't.
What was that? I don't remember.
It didn't mesh well. Well, it's a long story, but I went to Blessed Sacrament over on this side of the island until Halloween of 3rd grade.
Okay.
So then I went to St. Mary's from All Saints Day, the day after All Saints Day, to Christmas vacation. And at that point in time, my mom was called in for a meeting, and they were like, he is to leave. He's been stricken from the parish here. And then off to St. Joseph's I went.
Wow. You made the rounds. I didn't realize you were such the rebel as a kid.
I wasn't. What the problem was is it didn't fit in with the people over there, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been in the class ahead of mine, which would have been Tommy Bruns and Ronnie Brandt and all those guys who used to beat me up every day.
I would have stuck up for you. I would have said, leave that kid alone.
Yes.
He's a Giant fan. He's fucked up enough.
What's up, Matt? Joe, nice to see you guys. They punished you with Monsignor Villani, Jeff.
Yes, very true, Leonard. Remember, he used to walk through the hallways with the dog. But when Monsignor Villani came into the school, you were able to hear a mouse fart because all the kids like the Monsignor said, "Holy shit!" And you'd sit there like this the whole time. And one time, I got in trouble and was made to stand in the corner of the classroom. And the Monsignor came in, and when he came in, he pushed the door open, and everybody's looking at me through the window, and I'm in the corner with the door shut, looking in the window like, if he sees me back here, I'm dead. I'm dead. That's all there is to it. The teacher's looking over at me like, just, because she would have gotten in trouble. Everybody in this class is like looking with a smirk, like, oh, you're going to get it now. And somehow I got out of there, man, unscathed.
What are you going to do? But again, I'll tribute to Lou Gehrig and kudos to Major League Baseball for doing something for a change. But let's fix the game, guys. It's so boring. It's such a shame. I'm hoping for a rebound, but let's see what happens. I'm still following my Yankees. I'm tortured soul, but I lived in Great because went to St. Charles. An Oakwood occasion I have a beer with the priest after Sunday Mass. I guess everybody's got their Catholic school stories. I used to. Our school had a nun who was not very nice as the principal. And she used to walk around with the bell. You remember that, Jeff, by any chance?
With the 4 fingers, Sister Mary?
Yeah. So she used to ring the big bell.
I had somebody too that did that in my school.
Got a couple of times with the bell to the side of the head.
Oh.
Yes, I got a couple of those in my day, yeah. I was a good kid. But a couple times in 8th grade, I acted out a little bit. I remember walking by, she had the bell in her hand, and boom, one of those. It's like, oh.
Wasn't her name like Sister Margaret Mary or something?
She was Sister Michael. Sister
Michael, that's it. Yep. Sister Michael. And usually when they were really fucked up, they had 2 names.
Yes.
Like Sister Margaret Mary of Our Lady of Pity and Good Counsel. You're like, well, where did she get all of this? She was born that way. Why is she missing a finger? Because she hit some kid with the bell, and the fucking thing in the bell fucking hit her thumb and cut it off, and it fell out, and the kid's now in the nut house. And, all this sick shit that would happen back then when you were a kid. The stories and rumors that you would hear.
Joan, going back to your thing, here's the thing that bothers me. And not that we're talking about, I don't know how we get into this, but what bothers me about the St. Mary St. Joseph thing, the Catholic Church is probably the wealthiest organization in the world. I think I read something once where if 25 or 30% of their total wealth could solve the what's the word I'm looking for? It basically could wipe out people being poor. Like they could take a quarter of their money, give it away, and we solve the people being poor. And yet,
that ain't gonna happen.
No, I get it, but so there's 2 schools. The whole idea of a Catholic church, a Catholic school, is to teach the religion. Whether or not people, whether or not you had 5 kids in the school or 55 kids in the school, the fact that you closed 2 Catholic schools in the same neighborhood and left no option in that neighborhood for kids to go to school to learn about the religion for a few dollars. What could it take? A couple $100,000 a year to keep one of those schools alive? To me, is the biggest tragedy ever. And I always said, if I had the opportunity to talk to somebody from the Catholic from the administrations. I would love to have that conversation. How do you face God later on to say, hey, for a few dollars, I decided to not open up a school?
Because Tom, it's not about God.
I
They
know
don't.
it's not.
They
It's
don't
about
care
money.
about
I
God.
get it.
It's all about money, and St. Joseph's. They would have people in there. It was a small school.
Mhm.
St. Mary's was a small school, from what I
Sure.
remember too.
Absolutely.
You're 100% right. You couldn't somehow, some way, turn around and I mean, they closed St. Mary's down completely, the church and the
Yeah.
school.
Absolutely.
You couldn't keep one open one way or another.
Yeah.
But the thing is when they started to close these schools, they closed these schools because it was getting to the point where, well, we can't afford to do this, and people who are coming here can't afford to send their kids to this school anymore, and we can't afford to pay the teachers. And next thing you know, what's more important? You send Junior to PS13, or you send them over to St. Joseph so we can learn that God walked on water and changed water into wine. You know what I mean? It's in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important.
No, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. And I think what it ruins is that closeness that the neighborhoods had. Everybody, congregated to the school, to the church. It was a meeting place. It was a place to to see people. I mean, it just was, and it brought the community together. And I think that's it's hurt. Yes, and I know. Yes, I get it all, Joan. And it's a shame that it's come to that. It really is. Holy Rosie is fully open, yes, and Holy Rosie.
But you know what? Even though it's a business, and we know it's a business, you're right, and the teachers are paid low, it doesn't matter. They still want money, and if they get $50 from you, well, then they're gonna be, well, how come we can't get 60? How can we get 70?
Yeah,
I mean, this school's getting $100 a kid. How come we can't get 110? It's a shame, but that's how it is.
Oh man. Matt's on a roll tonight. Holy cow, ripping Farrell now. Holy cow.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy. But listen, I think it's a shame that the Catholic organization could not come up with enough money to keep one of the schools in that neighborhood alive. And even if there was one class or two classes or three classes in the entire school, you can't tell me that you can't find a way to keep the tradition and the teaching alive. So it's I'm always down on the.
Well, let me ask you something. Look, you went to Catholic school.
Yes.
And well, look at you now.
Yeah, I will tell you that I went to
Catholic. What Catholic things do you do now?
No, I'll tell you what, Jeff. While I don't always agree with the teachings that I learned, I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in doing good for others.
Well, evidently you believe in a higher power because you think the Giants stand a chance. So that proves that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's true because we won 4 Super Bowls. So obviously there is a higher power.
Yeah, because God waved his fucking hand at them as they were playing. Let the ball land on his helmet.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, God's a Giant fan, no doubt in my mind. God's a Giant fan. And a big Eli guy, but that's a whole different conversation. But no, I'm sorry. I have my beliefs. I don't believe everything I was taught. I believe, there are certain things that I do believe in. I think, I think I got a better education in public school, to be honest with you. I think my education was better from public school. When I got to St. Mary's, the kids were behind what I had already learned.
Well, St. Mary's was behind because when I went from Blessed Sacrament to St. Mary's to St. Joseph's, when I left St. Mary's and went to St. Joseph's, they were already on doing multiplication. Meanwhile, we were still doing fucking addition with the little blocks in the book, blocks of 5, blocks of 10, ones, stuff like that.
No, I do. I believe that. So I believe my education in PS13 was not much better, but because we spent a lot of time of our day in St. Mary's on Catholic, on the teachings on religious studies. So you didn't do as much English and math and science as you did when you went to public school. So fine.
No, you didn't, and it's kind of a shame because religion is something that is a choice for later on in life. I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
kids should be taught what they need to learn as when they need to learn it, and not worry about Jesus and God and everything else. That's something that if you want them to learn, you want your kid to learn, or maybe you send them to CCD or something of that nature.
Did all of
You
that.
know what I mean? That's what I think.
All right, well, let's get back to some sports. I want to turn our attention to a little bit of football. I want to talk, let's see. Let's talk Robert Saleh, Jeff. Let's talk about the coach. You have to go do your business, or you're still good? You're good?
I want to hear this.
Okay. So Robert Saleh, who is, if you guys couldn't pick him out of a lineup of one.
This already, I'm disagreeing with what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm just going on record to say I already disagree.
If his face was on a postage stamp, you couldn't pick him off the stamp. So
There we go.
okay.
There we go.
So yeah, so Robert Saleh, the disgraceful New York Jets coach, and I'm saying he's a disgrace. Pretty soon he's going to have a tattoo of Zach Wilson on his arm. Okay, he'll be having feet videos with his wife. He's the next Rex Ryan, a whole full bag of bullshit. And I'll tell you why, Jeff. Do you want to know why Robert Saleh is full of shit? Why Robert Saleh?
Even if I say no, and that you're lying, you're gonna have to say it anyway. So what's it?
I'm going to tell you why. And Lou Pica, what's up? Lou's going to back me up on this. Robert Saleh is a douche for this reason. Robert Saleh got a New Jersey state trooper to take him on a police escort to a Knicks game because he didn't want to be bothered. He thought they'd be rushed by the fans. Who could pick him out of if he stood in a phone booth, he couldn't get recognized by Jet fans, let alone anybody else. And who the hell else out there is a Jet fan anyway? Robert Saleh is a douchebag, flat out. He's the next Rex Ryan on steroids at this point. Would you like to even possibly respond to that? You couldn't possibly fix that. He got a New Jersey state trooper. The guy's under investigation now, probably going to get suspended. And Robert Saleh got an escort in his big SUV with his two jerk kids and went to a Knick game. What a disgraceful human being this guy is. Disgrace.
Let me know when you're done, please.
I'm done. I'll give you a chance now to respond with your bullshit, your petty bullshit. Go ahead. First of all, I just want to let you know, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Good.
Okay, you sound just like Stephen A. when you went on your fucking tangent. Okay, I thought it was a black man I was listening to. Okay, Stephen A. all the way. All right, I don't know. You got one that you're drinking out of one thing, and then you're drinking out of a cup. I'm thinking that you're having a little something to drink. You don't know what's going on. You're getting out of hand. You may be wetting yourself as you're sitting there. I don't know. You're still not refuting it. You're not refuting my. I'm getting to it.
You know,
I don't feel as though that this is a big thing. I mean,
it's huge.
Why? Because the guy wanted to give him a little support. Like maybe the Jets are his favorite team, and he got a chance to meet Robert Saleh and Saleh, whatever. And
why does Robert Saleh need an escort to a Jet game? Why does Robert Saleh need an escort to a Jet game? Why?
Leonard, that would be okay if it's licensed and he's a lawful.
Not in his uniform and all. He asked that permission.
He wasn't in uniform. I bet you didn't read that. He was undercover.
No, he was not.
That was a misprint. You can't. Well, you yourself have said several times on the show that you can't believe everything that the media feeds you.
That's true.
Right off the bat, I can't believe that he was in uniform because I think that you want him to be in uniform. Okay, that's one thing. Second of all,
here we go. Go ahead.
Second of all, Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're just pissed off and upset because nobody gives a fuck about you and your fucking Giants and the New York Giants and their fucking idiot coach, fucking Judge, and that dumb fuck general manager you got, fucking Gettleman. Okay, it's a shame. It's a shame. It is a shame.
Here we go.
That the people of New York City and New York State have to look upon the New York Giants as a franchise for us to watch. I gotta go throw up.
Hard Rocket Sports, the ever full of shit, soon to be out of it. Jeff Towinski, Tom Florio here every Thursday night from 7 to 9:30, talking sports, guys. Big disappointment last night. I'll just back in the seat, so I won't go. Trooper could have been charged.
No, go ahead.
Oh God! I'll just say this:
Represent.
your boy Robert Saleh is looking like a new version of Rex Ryan, all hot air, all about me. Look at me jump around on the sideline. Me. I'm Robert Saleh. I've done absolutely nothing. Yay! Jerk off.
First of all, Matt Salitri, don't you live in Florida? Does this kid live in Florida?
Not yet. Matt's moving to Florida soon.
Where the fuck does this guy live?
He lives in Jersey.
Where in Jersey does he live? Tell me where he lives in Jersey, please.
Far enough away from.
I don't want Florida. I don't care. He shouldn't. He's irrelevant. He's a Cowboys fan. Hush. Say nothing. Just sit there.
Absolutely.
I've stuck up for you. You do the right thing, Matt.
Leonard, tell him, Leonard, that the guy should never have been with lights and sirens taking a so-called.
Were you there? Did you see it happen?
Brian, look.
Did you see it happen?
Do you want me to pull the video up? Do I have to pull the video up?
Yes.
Oh,
And look at this fucking psycho.
Oh, Broncos. Oh, my God. Frank, I love you to death. Go back to Neil Hodges, please. Frank, the Broncos, please. I love you.
This is getting out of hand. If this was wrestling, man, forget it. They'd be pouring down the ramp right now to get in the ring. This is fucking insane. We got Giants, Bills, Cowboys, Broncos. What's next?
What's next? The Jets? I mean, let's be honest. Robert Saleh has done nothing. He's getting a police escort.
He hasn't even got a chance to coach yet.
Exactly. So why does he need a police escort?
Because
why? Why? Tell me, please.
Patrick, come on, man. Get out of here.
Thank you, Patrick. You're 100% right. They've done nothing for 50 years. The last time they won a trophy, it was made of wood. It was so old.
This fucking guy. Oh,
wait. He's going to be better than Richie Kotite. I'm a better coach than Richie Kotite. You got to be kidding me, Matt. What is that saying?
Listen, I told you, I used to go about 20 years ago. I used to go to this store on Manor Road, right? And I didn't know, but Rich Kotite used to live in the neighborhood.
Oh, really?
I must have went in there one day with a jet hat on or a jet shirt or something. I don't know what it was. But I remember Richie Kotite like giving me this look. Like I was going to say something to him. Like or slap him or whatever. And every time that I see him in the store, he'd always look and he'd be like this, like looking away, looking like, I don't know, like, you know, I know I'm not exactly the most inviting looking person, but, you know, like I was going to like start yelling at him in the store or something, you know, like I wouldn't even waste my air on him. It was it like 1 in 900 is the Jets coach?
Oh, what a terrible coach, Rich Kotite.
Oh, my God.
Holy cow. Only to be surpassed by Rex and your boy Robert Saleh, who hasn't even coached the game.
Rex. Yeah, played a D line. I wasn't that fat back then. I would have been a cornerback.
Let me tell you something. It's a disgrace that Robert Saleh put a New Jersey State trooper in harm's way so he could get to the Knick game 5 minutes earlier when he could have ran over 7 people on the way, and they got his license plate. They wouldn't know who he was.
Also, unlike Plaxico, that went into a club with a loaded weapon.
I didn't talk to Plaxico. See, right away, we're going to Plaxico. You want to think about Plaxico? This is what Plaxico's got over your boy Saleh, your boy Rex. Plaxico Burress was a winner. Rex is a loser. Kotite, loser. Jet quarterbacks, losers. Yes, Kotite coached at Wagner. Kotite, up until the Jets job, was a good offensive coordinator for the Eagles. You know, a lot of good stuff for Richie Kotite.
Except for when he became the Jets coach.
Until he came to Jets. But that's the disease. You walk through the doors and you completely get all shungats.
Now all of a sudden he's going to start picking on the Giants. Good.
Oh, yeah, look. Yeah, go find the White House back then again, Matt. When was the last time you need a roadmap to find the Super Bowl? You got to be kidding me. Another guy going to talk some crap now. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I can tell you this much. Hey, the Cowboys are going to be in the fucking Super Bowl before the Giants will.
Hey, tell Tony Romo to.
Look at this guy. Who's this guy that just came into all of this?
The Giants, Ravens, Super Bowl losers. Hey, listen, the Giants lost. I'm not ashamed of it. They won 4. The cursor name it right.
They won 4. If Scott Norwood made the field goal, that would have been only 3. If the other guy didn't catch the luckiest catch in the fucking world in the history of everything. Catches it on his fucking helmet. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's not if, it's when he did it. Matt, when was the last time he won a Super Bowl? 50 years ago. 50. Come on, please. It's 30. Yeah, Switzer won a Super Bowl. Come on, guys. I get it. 38 years ago, they won a Super Bowl. Don't talk to me. Get one in this century, and then I'll talk to the Cowboy friends. Thank you, Jessica Simpson, for ruining another great Cowboy season. Tony Homo. Yeah, Tony. Nice job, Tony. Yeah, chipping punt chipping. Yeah, Tony, you jerk off. Another guy wasted. Great, he's a great quarterback.
Who?
Tony Romo, he's a great quarterback. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he fucked Jessica Simpson. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, in Cancun, came back, got smoked in his house by the Giants and Eli. Enough said. Super Bowl champs, right over. Right over Big Jerry and his little house.
Stop, please.
It's true, Mike. I'll give you credit. I'll give it to you right there. Beating up on the Jets is low bar. It is because it's too easy. It's too easy.
All right, this year now it's a different story, man. We got a different regime in there.
Oh yeah.
There's only one way to go, but up.
Maybe you know what? Maybe
look
Robert Saleh
comes in and wins 15 games in 4 years, and you're sitting there running your trap. Really?
4 titles. Where is it? There it is. 4 of them,
better
baby.
Quarterback than Eli had. What are you saying? That who's got a better quarterback than Eli? Anybody's got a better quarterback than Eli. The guy was a 500 quarterback. You got to be kidding me.
Eli, they're fitting him for the jacket right now, baby. They're fitting him for the jacket. Gold jacket coming on, baby. Gold jacket. Tony Romo, you got to be kidding me, Tony Romo. Oh, Mike, come on, please, Mike. I got you. Except for the big game. Was it the fumble? Just dropped the snap for the kick. Going to beat the Seahawks. Oh, no, Tony dropped the ball. Oh, they're going to beat the Giants at home. Nope, Jessica Simpson. What else did Tony Romo do? Nothing. I'm sorry, nothing. He did nothing. Thank you. That's all I can tell you. Best quarterback, never to win a Super Bowl. I don't even know if he won a playoff game. Did he win a playoff game before he was done? Maybe one. So, all you Cowboy guys, I'll take Eli in his career over Tony Romo any day of any week of any month. Thank you. Anyway, let's two playoff games. Great. Eli 1 year, 1 4. So stand on table. By the way, Jeff, you hear that the USFL is coming back? The official, real USFL. Yeah.
No way.
Yes, next year, spring, with I think 8 of the 8 original team names, both the Stars, the New Jersey Generals. Yeah, who's horrible on TV? Oh, Romo. I hate Romo on TV. Oh my God, how annoying.
He doesn't have the right voice to be a sportscaster.
That might be it. And it's and I listen.
He's kind of gravelly and rough.
He's very smart, and you'll listen to him, and he'll call out the plays, and but after a while it gets annoying. Like just shut up, let the play happen. Tell me how it happened afterwards. Give me a second or two on it. But holy cow, he just don't shut up. Him and Nance. Give me Summerall and Madden again, please, dear God in heaven.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get them again.
I don't guess we're not, but I can pray. And I got to tell you, Frank Catalano, your Broncos, their first pick, very surprising they didn't go quarterback. I know they got Bridgewater. Bridgewater's done very little. I thought he would have been a nice gap, nice stopgap to get one of those young quarterbacks up there and give it a shot. But very surprising, Frank. I don't know what you think about it. A couple weeks from now, we'll be doing our NFL preview, training camp preview right before training camps open up. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that. We got lots of stuff to get along the rest of the way here. Now that we've totally blasted Robert Saleh, that jerk, Rex Ryan wannabe. So we'll move on from that. Let's see where I want to go here.
Dude, you couldn't blast. You know what? I'm going to let you have all your fun you want. I'm not even going to address it anymore because then when he's a winner, come next year, you're going to turn around. You're going to change it to.
Well, I was going to skip over Rodgers, but let's bring up Rodgers. I hear it, and I pray that they do it. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to call Aaron Rodgers' bluff, and they're going to tell him show up or don't show up. If you come, great. If you don't come, Love's going to be the quarterback, and you're going to get fined, and you'll sit out the season, and your career will be over. If I am the Green Bay Packers, Jeff, I am calling Aaron Rodgers' bluff and tell him show up or don't show up. We'll move on without you. But I wouldn't trade him. I would not trade him at all.
I don't think they're in a rush to trade him.
It doesn't sound like it.
No, not at all.
I hear them they're in the running. They're trying. Well, there was conversations with them to try to land Julio Jones, because I think Julio Jones is going to get traded. I don't think he wants to play there. They're in major cap trouble. I just think it's a matter of where. I know the Patriots are a big landing spot. I've heard the Dolphins.
I hope the Patriots don't get him. I really hope the Patriots don't get him. And if they do, I hope that Bill Parcells gets Parkinson's or something and has to retire.
I think here's the thing. I think Julio Jones, and let's be honest, I think we've learned with Calvin Johnson, and these are great players. I'm not knocking them, but Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, guys like that, they don't have Super Bowls. I think we've learned that you don't need that play, and I don't think Julio Jones, as good as he is, probably is not the Julio Jones of a few years ago. The injuries have knocked him down a bit. If I could get him done the cheap, I would do it if I was, the Patriots, some of these other teams.
What's the cheap?
You can't give away 3 first-rounders for him. You can't give away the store for him because
but would you give up a first rounder?
I would give him one, number one, and something else. Sure, I would do that. I would not give up 2 or 3 first-rounders for the guy. I don't think you're going to get him long enough term to make it work.
I hear that. I think he's too old. A number one, and maybe a mid-round pick, and you get him for 2 years, 3 years tops. Well, how long are you going to get him for? He's 32 years old.
Yeah, I mean that's my point though. I can't give up the farm for him. If he was the Julio Jones of 2 or 3 years ago, I would say you might, and you were one piece away, a 2 and a 4. Man, it makes sense. I could see any of that. I would give up maybe a 1 with, then like Jeff said.
I think Atlanta is going to hold out till they get a 1, and I think that they'll get it.
That Rex Ryan. Knowing the Rex Ryan that I saw coach the Jets, he had absolutely nothing to do with the Giants, holding the Giants down that day. I find it very hard to believe that the guy who coached the Jets has any football knowledge whatsoever in his head.
He was the defensive coordinator for the fucking Ravens.
Again, did you see?
I believe when they maybe Mike, maybe you could look that up for us while we're on the air. But I believe he's right. I believe that Ryan was the
right. He's 100% right. No way. He's Julio Jones has a huge. Yes. Thank God for his huge wingspan. That's how many Super Bowls has he won with it? Another jerk for the world, Matt. Yeah, I got you. His wingspan. Yeah, what's his catch radius, Matt? Give me his break down his catch radius for us. Another jerk off in the world. Yeah.
Catch radius.
Yeah, but here's the funny part. Julio Jones comes out and says, I don't think Matt Ryan has anything left on his fastball. He's lost a lot of his fastball. I want to go play with Cam Newton. Yeah, there it is. There's the guy you want throwing you the football. Cam Newton, Superman. Give it to me, Superman. Yeah, can't throw the ball 15 yards.
You know what that's all about.
It came out with the Cam Newton football. You see it?
What is it made of plastic and have holes in it?
It intercepts itself.
Well, that's the Richard Todd.
That's the Richard Todd football. Intercepts itself.
Yeah.
Catch rate.
I believe the Cam Newton football goes about 15 feet.
Why? If you're listen, I think first of all, I still believe that Mac Jones is going to start up in New England. I really do. I don't think that they're going. It'll be a competition, but I think Mac Jones wins it. Not that I think Mac Jones is going to be a great NFL quarterback, but I think he's better. Yes, the Staple. Yes, I know the Stapleton, whatever that team was for a football team was on Staten Island. I'd love to have been alive when that was going on. Cam stinks, and Julio Jones.
Stapleton have a team in the NFL like in the
absolutely
fucking but like in the 1910s or something.
Yeah, Staten Island Stapletons.
Yeah, it was when like so far along. I don't think there's anybody alive that went to any of their games.
No, again, we talked about it earlier. That doesn't exist. As far as the NFL concerned, if it didn't happen,
that didn't happen either.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. So. But we'll break down a lot of football. But yeah, I think if I'm Green Bay, and I mean this, it's the same in Seattle. Like, I think players. There's no reason in the world that Cam Newton, Russell Wilson should have any say on who's on their team. Now, if the team says, "Hey, we're thinking about these players. What's your thoughts?" I get it. But to sit there and say, you're Deshaun Watson, you're Russell Wilson, you're Aaron Rodgers, and you want to say on who's on the team, I think it's asinine. That's it's just to me, Jeff. It's asinine that these guys want to have a say on the team because they're not professional scouts.
I don't think Deshaun Watson has a team to talk about right now. He's just property of the Texans, but I'm not sure if he's even going to be able to touch a football.
Yeah, that's a great question because I think at this point, we've heard nothing. I mean, and he's not going to be deposed until I think February. So does he?
2022.
Yeah. So what does that do for this year? I mean, does the league allow him to play, even though he's got all these allegations hanging over his head?
How about the allegations of what Antonio Brown had against him, and it cost him 8 games?
Yeah.
And the NFL was in no rush to start investigating him. And it took how long before they started to investigate him?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a long time before they start investigating Deshaun Watson.
Correct.
And, even the NFL I'm talking about. We already know he ain't going to court till sometime in 2022 at the earliest, they said.
Correct. So now does the league let him play while he's under investigation? I don't think you can.
I don't think, do they want him? Do you want him?
I don't know. That's the question.
What happens if you let him play and then he's found guilty of any of those crimes? What happens if you don't play him and he's found innocent of those crimes?
Again, I think it's all great points, but they have that the commissioner's list where when you're suspended, you get put on it. So I think he still gets paid, but he's not allowed to participate with any of the team functions. And to me, listen,
Tom, in today's demographic, if he doesn't play and he's found innocent, they're gonna march on the NFL.
I agree with Matt to a certain extent, but I haven't heard anything. Like they haven't announced he's on the commissioner's list. They have not announced who's going to quarterback this year. I haven't seen the Texans make any real big moves based on it. So to me, the fact that this is quiet, I almost think they want this to quiet down and then sneak him in. Although I don't think you can sneak him under the radar at this point.
No, I tell you this much: I bet you any amount of money that they probably banging their head against the wall someplace and like, why didn't we trade this fucking guy? Why didn't we trade him?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, there's going to be if you're the Texans, you had some serious offers. I'm sure that there are a lot of teams, including maybe the Jets, who are willing to part with a couple of first-round picks to land him before this whole thing blew up. And now you're saying, Jesus, you'd be lucky to get a number 6 pick for this guy right now.
Number 6 pick. Right now, the Jets got to be fucking going to church every morning saying, thank God we didn't push this one.
Yeah.
I would have said, if the Jets would give it up, okay, at the time, they would have had to give up at least 2 number 1 picks, which would have been a third because they could have thrown Seattle's that way.
Yeah.
And looked at it as they gave up one of their picks plus Jamal Adams to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would have been gone. Everything would have been gone.
100%. Leonard, good night, pal. Thanks for stopping by. Talk to you soon.
Good night,
anytime.
Leonard.
Call anytime, brother. Call anytime. Again, Hard Rocket Sports. Jeff and Tom here every Thursday night, 6:30 to 9:30. Make sure, guys, on June the 12th, check out our friends from Black Sasquatch and So High at the Buzzbin, 331 Cleveland Avenue, Canton, Ohio. On June the 12th, get out to see our dear friends from the Black Sasquatch and So High. Zeke got suspended, even though it was from college.
More importantly than those guys in Ohio,
Yep.
is the next question that I have to ask.
Which is?
What about our people from Israel? Did our viewership in Israel go up?
Oh, I could tell you if you want to know for sure. I could definitely.
Sure, man. I'm kind of curious to see if it went up a little.
All right, hold on a second. Let me.
One ill-placed bomb and it goes down.
Yeah. Last week it was at 9.2%. If I'm correct,
something like that. Yeah.
We are still at 9.21% of our viewers in Israel. France 1.1%, and we are 0.9% of our viewership from Germany. 14.29% from Canada. So we are still hanging in there, Jeff. Israel 9.21%. So our friends in Israel sticking with us.
0.9% or 9%?
No, for Canada it's 0.92%. 0.92 in Canada. Israel is 9.21%.
So almost 10%, almost 9.25%.
Yes, of our audience is in Israel.
Wow, that's heavy.
That's heavy, Jeff. I'm telling you, we're big in Israel.
We are.
We're big in Israel. Got the Hard Rocket Sports Show. L'chaim.
How about this? If I can do this, I could hang them on the sides a little bit.
Well, guys, it's been nice being on the air with you guys for the last 7 years. I'm sure we'll be thrown off the air at some point. How about Italy? No, it doesn't show up on our screen. It doesn't seem like we have much of a following in Italy. Yeah, again, listen, if you're a team, Frank, and you can get him on the cheap and store him on your roster, it's not a bad idea. Why not? Right?
Well, but what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to get up to get Watson and all of the fucking circus that's going to come follow him?
Would you give up a number three? Number three.
What the fuck was that?
What's the matter?
It's just,
I'm not seeing anything. What are you talking about?
no, what you just did.
Oh.
You was just
no, I don't know. All right, sports. You know what? Speaking of football, let's stay on football for 5 more minutes. I want to go through the online betting totals wins for the year for each team.
all right. Oh, this ought to be. I like this kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, so I figured we're gonna, you're hitting the NFL the lull period. You got a couple weeks of the Giants do minicamp next week. I think the Jets, if Robert Saleh doesn't have any more excursions with the police, no way. You can't give a number one, Frank. There's no way in the world you can give a number one right now for him, right, Jeff? You can't.
No, let me. Are you, Frank? Do you take the chance of giving up a number one pick for somebody that may end up being in jail, or just not allowed to play for God knows how long, tied up with legal battles, and how stupid you would look if you gave up that number one pick? Think about that one. That's what you got to think about, the long term of this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, if he's found guilty of half of these things, he may never play football again.
No.
So
and how many people, maybe not for nothing. I mean, listen, I know it's the NFL. They're basically thugs with helmets and shoulder pads, some of them. But some of these guys may not want to even play with him because of what he's done, or the possibility of what he's done. Shouldn't say we don't know for sure if he's done it.
Absolutely. I would throw a life raft out there, a life ring out there, and give a number 3, number 4 pick for the guy. Stash him on my roster, and if it works out, great. But I would never give up a number 1 for a guy who could be 2 years before he gets back out there. Oh my God! Yes, you know what? Robert Saleh is the kind of guy I think who would go to Citi Field for a Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison concert. I think that's
no, he would not. He goes to see fucking.
He's high energy. He's high energy.
Yeah, but the Muslims don't go after that kind of music.
Oh
man.
My God! Let's do over and unders for football this year, Jeff. And Frank, hang in there for a few more minutes if you don't mind. Denver Broncos over under 8.5 wins for the season.
Under.
See, now I'm teetering on that one because I don't think the division's going to be as good. But
I'll tell you exactly why.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's the beginning of June. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They're still praying to God and anybody that'll listen to them that they'll end up with fucking Aaron Rodgers, which has got to make Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater feel really good at this point in time.
Okay, I agree. I think it's an under season for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll do this again a couple more times before the season starts, but I wanted to have a little bit of fun tonight. Jeff, over under 9 wins for the New Orleans Saints.
Under.
Yeah, it's a definite under to me. Yeah, I think
another team that has no quarterback.
Yeah,
no true quarterback right now.
Yep,
and has too many questions.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Here's an interesting one. Over under 11.5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Under. And I'll tell you why, because they're still talking about Brady, and they're saying that his knee, that he's going to be very limited in camp.
I still put them up there as one of the better teams in the division, but I agree. I think they're a 10-win team.
I think I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to say this is the year that Brady starts to break down, and I think they're using his knee issues as a problem to soften the blow.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting one. I'm going to agree with you. I think they're a 10-win team. They may even win 11, but I think the 11.5 makes me go under on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jeff, the Kansas City Chiefs. You're right. You know what, Matt? Matt's got a great point, Jeff. I'm not taking into account it's 17 games this year.
Yes, it is.
That is an interesting thought. You know what, Matt? I'm going to change my tune on the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I'm going to go over because I think they'll get to 11 wins. I think they're to 12 wins.
Don't forget that these totals are based on a 17-game season. So
I agree with you.
announcing them as based on 17 games.
Oh no, I agree with you there. I'm just in my mind, I'm thinking 16 games. So okay, we're gonna go under over 12.5 wins, Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going under.
I'm gonna go under too.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I still until somebody proves me differently. The team that loses the Super Bowl has not recovered for a while. The Rams
Yeah,
haven't
but
recovered.
Kansas City is just too good of a team, I think.
Why? You could say that, but I want to see it done. The 49ers, the Rams, there's been a whole.
Yeah, but you can't. I understand what you're saying, but I just can't see you putting the Rams and 49ers in the same class as the Chiefs.
No, again, I'm not saying they are, but I'm 12.5 wins. I'm not going for. I'm gonna. Again, I'm mad. I'm agreeing with you, but until somebody steps up and comes back from the Super Bowl loss, the Falcons didn't do it. The Panthers haven't done it. The Rams haven't done it. 49ers. I can go back to the last 7 or 8 winners, losers, and they haven't done it. So let's go Kansas City 12-13 wins. Wow, good. Well, Patrick, okay. I know a team that won a Super Bowl and can't recover. The Jets, yeah, it's 50-something years. You're right. You're 100% right, Pat. Thanks, Frank. Good job, buddy. Good job.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Go ahead.
Hold on. You're in such a rush.
We got a lot of stuff to do on the show.
All time. I've said it on the air. I'm not going to change my mind on that one.
So what?
That's probably the most important game of all time.
Tommy Florio talking about Super Bowl III.
Nobody's saying it wasn't.
Tommy Florio talking about Super Bowl III. That's all I have to say.
All right, listen, Matt. I like Mahomes as much as anybody does, but what you saw last year was he came back down to earth when he didn't have people around him. Now, should he have a better team? I agree with you. Again, I want to see them step back up and play as well this year and get back to the Super Bowl again. I don't think they're gonna. I'm picking them not to get back to the Super Bowl this year. I picked them to win the Super Bowl last year. Bet them to win the Super Bowl this year. They didn't do it, but I think they'll step back. Seattle Seahawks, Jeff, over under 9.5.
Over.
For me.
Over.
See, I
actually, honestly, I think I could see them getting 9 wins, about 9 wins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's how I see it. But that makes them a 9-8 season. So again, with the 17 games, it's throwing me off. I'm going to give them an over on this one. I'm going to skip the local teams and bring them for last. Jeff, Pittsburgh Steelers over under 8.5 wins.
Ooh, that's tough. Under.
I agree with you. I'm not. I think Pittsburgh takes a major step back this year. I think Big Ben was a shell last year, and I think Tomlin did wonders with nothing, and I don't see him doing it again. I think that division's gotten better. I think Cincinnati's going to be better this year. Cleveland's going to be better this year. The Ravens, I'm not a big fan of, but I think they're still a better team. I think the Pittsburgh may wind up 4th in that division this year.
That's very, very possible. I don't know if they're going to squeak out past Cincinnati.
They might.
I think Cincinnati is still 4th until next year.
You're very possible, but I think they're going to be in a rough. I think they're in for a rough season this year. Pittsburgh, Miami.
Definitely, I agree with that.
Miami Dolphins over under 9 wins.
Over.
Boy, that's a tough one. I think Miami is a better team. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Miami's an over. Chargers, Jeff, over 9 wins.
I'm going to say around 9, so I'm going to go under because I think that it's Kansas City's division. But I think they're definitely improved. But I figure them to be 9 to 10 wins. So I'm going to go under.
Okay. New England Patriots over 9 wins. Under 9 wins.
Under.
No, I think they're going to go over 9 wins this year.
Well, with everything they spent, they still don't have. They drafted a quarterback, but you don't know if he's going to be the right quarterback. And Cam Newton, we know what he did last year.
I agree with you a lot of that. I just think that they have getting back a bunch of guys. Now, I'm not a huge fan of paying for all these free agents and putting the whole team together and trying to make it work. I just think Bill's going to find a way to get to 9-10 wins this year. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to do major damage in the playoffs. I still think that the AFC is a little weak, and they'll feast on it a little bit. But I'm going to pick the Patriots over 9 wins.
If the Patriots don't go to the playoffs this year, does Belichick retire?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think the answer to that is yes. I think to a certain extent this may be it for Bill. I think if they have a go out there, and obviously if they think they win a Super Bowl, you may see the end of him moving upstairs. I don't think he's retiring. I think he's moving upstairs. But if they come out and they win 5 or 6 games again, I think that's a very good possibility that we see the last of Bill on the sidelines.
It's possible.
Yeah, Houston Texans over under 4.5 wins.
Under.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this is probably the number 1 team in the draft next year. There's a couple other candidates, but Houston Texans under 4.5 wins. Carolina Panthers, Jeff, over 7.5.
Under.
Under is right. I agree with that 100%. This team is still in the build. I don't understand some of their moves in the offseason, but okay, well, San Francisco 49ers over under 10.5.
I don't know. I got to go under. I think I peg them around 10 if everything goes right. I see them around 10, but everything has to fall into place, and they have to be pretty much perfect, I think, to hit 10. I just can't say over.
Okay. Detroit Lions, Jeff, over under 5 wins.
I'll go over with that.
Yeah, I think
I'll take the over. I think I see them for around 6.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the division's not that great. I think they can sneak a couple wins with Chicago. You got the Vikings. I don't think are going to be a great team. Packers depends. Rodgers, no Rodgers. So let's move down to Lions. To Jacksonville Jaguars over under 6.5.
Under.
Yeah, I agree. I said it last week, and you guys can write this down. I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to wind up being a bust. And if you read the Sports Illustrated article on Trevor Lawrence, and he basically comes out and says, if we win, we win. We lose, we lose. His attitude is, if we lose and I play well, I've done everything I can. And to me, that's not a pro quarterback. I think the guy gets one serious injury, you may never see him play again. So I'm saying
I'm not a big fan of his build. He looks way too skinny for me. You know what I mean? I'm kind of happy. I mean, but don't get me wrong. Look at the guy that the Jets got. He looks like he's still in fucking high school playing football. But I mean, Trevor Lawrence, the guy's like what, 6'5", 6'6", and he looks like he weighs 190 pounds. What happens? A couple good hits. Does he even know where he is?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm going to base it strictly on his attitude. Read the Sports Illustrated article on Trevor Lawrence, and to me, as a guy who's played, coached, watched, loved football his whole life, that's a guy who just doesn't care.
225, but he's 6'6", right? 6'5", 6'6".
Something like that. Yeah, I would say. I mean,
I think that's kind of thin.
Listen, I think he's I'd say he's a semi-tough kid. We'll see how it lays out.
Look, you know what? Not for nothing. Look at the way that Roethlisberger is built. 6'5", 6'6", 245. Cam Newton's another big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence can't play in this league, but I just feel as though we're 300-pounders looking to jump on you every play. 225 and 6'6" is maybe a little frail. It's possible. I know he could still gain a little weight. He's still kind of young. He could put on, but what could he put on? Maybe another 10, 15 pounds? Do you see him even getting that high?
Yeah, he could. I mean, they'll get in there and working out. I mean, the teams just don't work out in the offseason like they want. But again, I'm going to give him a chance to get out there. I mean, they do have the dynamo.
If he gains another 20 pounds, people are going to start saying he's on roids.
Yeah. Let's run through this quick. Atlanta Falcons over under 7.5.
Under.
Yeah, easy under on that one. I do both of you respectfully to say he doesn't care. It's a bold statement. He is going to be very good. Matt, read the article. And when he lost to Ohio State, he came out and said, hey, I woke up and said, hey, I played as well as I could. There's nothing I could do about it. That's not the attitude my quarterback needs to have, especially one going to the NFL to play for a very bad team. So I'm telling you, I'm not telling you that he's going to be out of the league in a year. I'm telling you he's not good. I don't believe he's going to be the quarterback people think he's going to be. Maybe on a different team that goes out there and wins early.
I don't know. Listen, I think it's going to be hard for anybody to go onto the Jacksonville Jaguars and become a very good quarterback.
I'm not disagreeing with
That's a
that.
team that's historically bad for years and needs a lot of help. And with Urban Meyer, I don't know.
Yeah. Again,
I don't know.
Bringing in these big time and college coaches to run NFL teams does not always work. It hasn't worked very well. So let's see how it plays out. I'm just telling you, as a football guy, Matt, you read the Sports Illustrated article on Trevor Lawrence and tell me it doesn't change your opinion a little bit on his mentality. And that's part of this. When you're going to go to a team that's not going to be good for a couple of years, I think that's a big thing. Indianapolis coach Jeff, over under 10 wins.
I'm going to go over.
Yeah, so you think Carson Wentz is making a big difference out in Indianapolis?
I think Frank Reich is going to make a big difference with Carson Wentz, who's going to help Indianapolis get to 11 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Okay, fair enough. Jeff, the Arizona Cardinals over under 8 wins.
Over.
I
think a lot of people haven't really given Kyler Murray and Kingsbury enough credit. I remember watching them last year. They were a very fun team to watch. I see them taking the next step this year.
All right, I like your thought process. Minnesota Vikings over under 9 wins.
Under.
I
see this a team that's a little bit on the decline.
Yeah, I think I think you're right with that. I think that's a good point. Los Angeles Rams over under 10.5 wins.
I don't understand why everybody's saying that the Rams are a potential Super Bowl team. I don't see that, only because I don't thoroughly believe in Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I do think I'm going to go over because I think that he's going to get to about 10 wins. I don't see him going past 10.5 wins.
Okay.
But how can you go past 10.5 wins anyway?
You have to go to 11. You have to go.
Yeah, I don't see that, but I could see them hitting 10 wins.
All right, so you got them on the under. The Las Vegas Raiders, Jeff, over under 7 wins.
Only because of their number one fan, I'm going under, just like him.
I agree. I think it's an under. I don't think that team's gotten a lot better. I think
I think they're going under the bar, Tom.
Yes, so to speak.
So to speak, yes.
Yes. Philadelphia Eagles over under 6.5 wins.
Under.
I agree with that. I think they're going to be the worst team and might still be the worst division this year. I'm not sure. I think the division might be a little better.
I think they're going to be the worst team in that division.
I agree with that. That I agree with 100%. The Redskins, otherwise known as the Washington Football Team, over under 8 wins, which would put them 8 as an 8-9 team.
Over.
See, I'm
not going to say how many games, but I'm going to say over.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that their defense is good.
Wait,
I think the overall
breaking news. We have breaking news. Patrick said that Robert Saleh got another police escort to the Islander game.
No, he didn't say that. He just said, speaking of the devil,
between the lines.
They just showed Saleh at the Islander game. Nothing about escort.
I'm reading between the lines. Robert Saleh, I can see it tomorrow morning. Headlines.
All right, so if it's on there tomorrow morning, that's another story. But right now, that's not what the story says.
Jet douchebag coach has another escort to Islander game. Didn't know they played hockey.
Okay.
That's what a douchebag. Now he's got state troopers going to Long Island.
Well, it doesn't say anything about no state troopers.
I'm reading between the lines.
Please post the article.
I'm reading between the lines here, Jeff.
Please post the article that backs up your claim.
What a douchebag. He's got to get police escorts now for the Knicks. He's like, you know what? And he's also like, think about it. The Knicks lost when he was there. Now the Islanders are going to wind up losing. He's like a mush. He's a mush.
Well, here's the thing.
He's been rained on in the jet.
You and all of these guys are all watching the Islander game.
I'm not watching.
But you know a lot about it.
Well, because my friends
so can we get going? Meanwhile, they have no idea.
Come on, Patrick. I know there's an escort. You're being kind, Patrick. It's okay. It's all right. Be kind. It's all right. Washington Football Team is not winning 8 games. Not with Ryan Fitzpatrick. But we'll move on. Chicago Bears. Jeff,
This is a team. The Washington Redskins are going to win that division.
Every time he says stuff, he just deepens the vial of his goat. Go watch the Rangers on. Yeah. All right, Matt. Yeah.
Was he a Devils fan? This guy?
No, he's an Islander fan. Could you imagine anybody's an Islander fan? I didn't know the Islanders had fans. I just know people showed up and watched it, went to the wrong building. They had free tickets to get in to see.
Build it and they will come, kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Patrick, but I love Patrick. Yes, Salah is a diva already. Yes, Cowboys have the best quarterback in the division. Oh my God! Did they just sign Eli? That's right. The Giants win the division. Thank you, Matt.
Stop.
Chicago
Dak,
Bears.
I agree. Dak may be the best fucking quarterback in that division.
Oh my God, Dak. He's not even the. If he was in a phone booth, he wouldn't even be the best quarterback there.
Who?
Dak. You gotta be kidding me, Dak. Dak has done nothing. Nothing. $40 million. Good job. Good job. I pray, dear Lord, hold on. Dear God, please let Jerry Jones live a very, very long time and be the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys for as long as possible, because that way I'll know they'll never win another Super Bowl. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I pray to God every day.
Meanwhile, fucking Gettleman fucking wins 15 games in like 7 years.
Gettleman we have turned the corner, Jeff. The Giants win the division this year.
But little did they tell you, they fucking turned the car around and went back around the corner. They just went around.
Jeff, the Cleveland Browns, Jeff, over under 10.5 wins.
Over.
The Baltimore Ravens, over under 10.5 wins.
Under.
Thank you. Buffalo Bills, over under 11.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Not so fast there, Kimosabi. Okay. The Baltimore Ravens said that they're going to put Lamar Jackson under center a lot more this year.
Why? What's the point of that?
I'm just telling you what I heard on NFL, the NFL Network today.
Smokescreen?
They were talking about it, that they said that they're going to put him under center more than they have in previous years.
Mike Gambale, I would sign up for Belichick becoming the Giants GM tomorrow. I love Gettleman, but if Belichick became available, I'd take Belichick tomorrow.
So would I, and I would hope that Belichick got pissed that the Giants beat the Patriots and he dismantles the team.
No chance.
So that'd be great. I hope that's what, and I hope he has like a tumor in the front lobe of his brain and he can't think right and he trades everybody away for mid-round draft picks. Saquon Barkley for a 5th rounder. That'd be great.
I think the Baltimore Ravens thing is bizarre to me. I mean, the guy's proven he can't throw the football, and yet they're going to place him on the center and limit his ability to see the defense and improvise. I think it's a mistake.
I agree with you. That's why they're going to get a new quarterback next year. Jones is going to be shot, and the Giants will draft a new quarterback next year.
Oh my God!
Oh, you weren't talking about the Giants? I'm sorry.
No, I was talking about the Giants. Jeff, Buffalo. Can we do the Buffalo Bills over on the 11 wins?
Over. This could be a 12 to 13 win team, I think.
I agree with that. I think they've gotten better and better, and the division's not.
I also think they're going to top out this year. By the way.
Yes, I think this may be one of those years they need to win because yes, I think you get a 4-year run at it, and then you're going to start.
What I mean by top out is that I don't see this team winning 12 or 13 games this year, 14 or 15 games next year.
Yeah, I think
if they win 12 or 13 this year, that they've achieved that as a team, and they're going to be a 12 or 13-year team for the next couple of years, and then slowly back down. Yeah,
Frank, the low point of Bill Belichick's career when he was the HC of the NYJ Jets. That was the low point of Bill's career, and he coached in Cleveland. Imagine that. He ran away from the Jets to go coach Cleveland. It was the opposite. He ran away from them to go to New England. I was just trying to have some fun with that one. Okay, Cincinnati Bengals over under 6.5.
Under. Oh, sorry.
That's a close one for me. I think they could be a 7-win team, but I'm going to go over on that. Dallas Cowgirls over under 9.5.
Over.
Oh my God, over. Oh my God. Oh my god, they could be over and under if they played the vibrating football
Listen to
game.
what I'm telling you.
They
You
could
got
win 9 games.
you have Elliott.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you start so
Okay, you
much.
have Elliott as running back. You got
Oh.
Dak as the quarterback. You have the brain trust over there.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, and I know they'll be successful. Totally, I hope they're so as successful as ever, as long as Jerry Jones stays in there. If he dies, I hope they nail him to like a chair and prop him up, and every year they just wheel him out and just keep letting him make the decisions because he couldn't make any more worse decisions if he was dead because he's already brain dead. But let's keep Tennessee Titans over under 9 wins.
Under.
And I saved the best for last.
I'm going under.
The New York Football Jets over under 6.5 wins.
Under.
I agree with that. I think well under 6.
I don't say well under 6. I think they're going to 4 to 6 win range.
Let's hope that Robert Saleh shows up because he may be going to other games and with his police escort and not be at the Jet games. So who knows?
Okay, whatever. Let's do the Giants.
Let me scroll back up. I skipped over the Giants because I wanted to save them.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I want to save them. This is an easy one.
Okay.
New York Football Giants over under 7 wins.
Way under. Way under.
Double over.
Way under.
The Giants will win 10 games this year.
I want
And the division.
Uninterrupted. I don't want you to look off to the side.
I won't say a word.
I want you to tell me why they're going to win 10 games, and then they're going to tell you why they're not. So go ahead.
I think they have the best defense.
All right, that's
in the
enough.
division.
Thank you. Now for the reason why they're going to suck.
Good, please.
Gettleman.
That's it?
Gettleman, that's it. I blame everything on fucking Gettleman.
Oh boy, Lou Pikachu. No way, Mike. I'm sorry. The Giants they're gonna take 2 from the Eagles, 2 from the Redskins, they'll flip the Cowboys.
Does Patrick smoke crack?
Huh?
Patrick, do you smoke crack?
Patrick, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Patrick.
No
I'm
way.
with Patrick on that.
No way. The only way the New York Giants are going to win 10 games this year is if somebody's grandson or kid or nephew or whatever uses them on fucking Madden and plays the season and they get 9 wins.
10 wins, a first-round playoff win, and
Oh my God.
2 years.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We got the best. We got the best in the division.
God. Oh God. I'm getting sick just listening.
Our
to this.
receiving core is as good as anybody's, if not better.
Yeah, but you got nobody to throw the ball. You can have Jerry Rice on that team. He ain't gonna be able to catch it.
Danny Dimes is going. Danny Dimes is a monster.
Just see you.
I'm telling you, I think I'm agreeing with Patrick. 10 wins, easy.
No
We
way.
may be cruising to 11 wins this year.
No
I'm
way.
gonna say 10 wins.
The New York Giants will not be able to win 10 wins. Will not get 10 wins unless you're going to add up the wins from last year, this year, and
Listen,
next year.
just in the division, I could tell you right now they could get easy 6 wins.
Okay.
They have a
You
better
really
defense.
think they're going to sweep their division?
I think they can. They
You
can.
think they can? Okay.
I'll tell you why. They have the best secondary in that division. You got 3 quarterbacks who suck, especially in Philly and Washington. Those guys ain't winning games over there. No way. And the Washington defense, well, it's a good one, no doubt about it. The defensive line. They have a good defensive line. The Giants will
I
win
think
10 games.
they could beat. I think they will sweep the Eagles. I think they will split with the Redskins, and I think they're going to get swept by the Cowboys.
Oh my God, you're crazy.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they get swept by themselves.
I think holding in the poop has the methane has got to your brain from the inside and it's melted it.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
I'm telling you,
I've been letting out little squirts of methane here and there as a pressure relief.
You're getting Barkley back. Okay, they got more weapons.
Okay, all right. Well, stop right there. But you're getting Barkley back. Go ahead, roll your eyes. Here's a man that's gotten hurt every year he's been on the team. Okay, it's coming time. Do they pick up his option or not?
No.
You can go back and see.
I don't want them to pick up the option. I hope they don't pick up his option.
You hope that this is a gold jacket. This guy's
He's gonna get a gold jacket.
This, that, and the other thing. Now you don't want him on the team. You know what? I hope. This is what I hope. I hope the Giants let him walk and the Redskins get him, or the
Oh.
Eagles get him, and now there's 2 elite running backs in that division. That's what I hope.
Oh, you're saying that you still think Ezekiel Elliott's an elite back in that division?
Compared to what the Giants have, you don't get injured every year.
Oh my God! Here we go. Here we go.
So I would say, yeah.
Oh, how many Super Bowls does your boy Ezekiel Elliott have? That's your boy now. That's it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take him. How many Super Bowls let me ask you something. How many full seasons does Saquon Barkley have?
2.
Full seasons?
2.
No. He got hurt. He missed games in every season.
Okay.
So that's not full seasons.
All right. I'm telling you, Giants 10 wins minimum playoff win. Gonna love
Danny
it.
Dimes is colorblind. He's going to be throwing the ball to everybody else other than his fucking receivers.
Dimes is going to be elite this year. Elite.
Oh my
He's
God.
got tons of weapons.
Oh my God. I can't believe this. What I'm hearing. I can't
weapons.
believe what I'm hearing.
Tons
I
of
really
weapons.
can't believe I'm here. You know,
Tons
to see
of
where it says you're watching the Hard Rockin' Sports,
Yeah.
co-host Jeff and Tommy.
Yeah.
You're losing viewership in fucking Israel.
No, is you're still sticking
Between
with
the war and the stuff that you're saying,
Yeah.
you're chasing them out of there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's one thing. Second, okay, this is a team that has had no sustained success in the last couple of years. They're not all of a sudden going to become a fucking juggernaut. Impossible. This is a sad ass team.
This Broncos have 5 wins in the division. We beat the Jets. We beat the Giants. We beat the boys. That's right. 8-0. And the Jags. You're saying the Jags are getting 9 wins, Frank? I got to come to the house to check for gas.
He's saying that the Broncos have 5 wins in the division.
Yeah.
Then he's saying that they're going to beat the Jets and the Giants. Then they're going to beat the Cowboys. That's 8 right there. Then the Jaguars. That's 9. Patrick, I am sorry what I said to you before. It is quite evident that Frank is smoking crack as well as shoe polish and dog piss.
Frank, I need you to
Something is bad.
immediately hang up, go outside with your cell phone, call 911. There's a gas leak in your house.
Yeah.
Please, Frank, don't hesitate. Don't turn on the gas anywhere. Don't light any matches. Run right outside, call the fire department, and have them check for the slow gas leak because I think you're smoking. I think there's a gas leak affecting your brain. Never happened, Frank. No way your team gets to 9 wins this year. No chance in the world, Jeff. Giants.
I don't see it.
Jets.
If they had a decent quarterback situation, maybe. But I mean, this is what Frank. I'm sorry. How the fuck was any team with John Elway involved can't find a quarterback?
That's a good point.
I do not understand that. How does that work? Shouldn't this guy be able to tell a quarterback from with his eyes closed, facing the other way, and being across the street?
You would think. Think.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, listen, I'm not buying into that. I think they're better than the Raiders. After that, I'm not really sure what they're going to do in that division, but we shall see. I do want to get to a couple of things. We did a lot of football. I want to get to a little basketball. Let's talk about the Knicks a little bit. Very depressing to watch the Knicks series. I don't know how much of it you watched, Jeff, how much you paid attention to. The Knicks were a shell of the team that I saw during the regular season. Very little defense.
Wait, hold on. Wait, just real quick. Yes, I understand it's hard to do in bad decisions. Evidently, he's made several bad decisions. And because he can't find a quarterback, but you would think that he would know the attributes of a good quarterback if he saw one.
Yeah. You know what?
That's my point.
I will give Elway a lot of props. He won a Super Bowl. I'm all for it. Put together a decent team to win a Super Bowl. But let's be honest, his quarterback carousel has not been a good one.
No.
Lynch,
it has no horses on it.
Osweiler, Simeon, it's Drew Lock still. We'll see how that plays out. I'm sure I'm missing some other bodies in there.
Drew Lock can't be good because if they got Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, and they're still hoping to get fucking Aaron Rodgers, I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock Elway a little bit on that one. I think Elway's a smart football guy. I just don't think he's made great decisions in the quarterback department at all. So I'm with Jeff on that one.
If he wasn't John Elway, the quarterback that he was, I could agree with both Matt and Frank. But because he's John Elway and because of what he did in the NFL, you would think that he would just have that sense to be able to have a little bit better luck. I'm not saying he's going to find the next Peyton Manning, but he should be able to find somebody and get a couple seasons out of him. it's like these guys might as well go to Renner Center and get a fucking quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. A little surprising. Yes, Jeff and Tom. Talking
Tom,
sports.
take over basketball for a second. I gotta go take a squirt.
Good. So yes, guys. So we're talking about the Knicks, and listen. Here's my quick take on the Knicks. Listen. It was a good season. You know, considering I don't think anybody would have had the Knicks for more than 25 wins. They went out and won 41 games, 41-31 record. They played good basketball. I love the fact that the Knicks played every night. Their stars played every game. They didn't take days off and road trips off. This is a successful season. Now, I know people's expectations, including mine, was simple. The Knicks played real well in the regular season. We all wanted them to play Atlanta. We got our wish, and Atlanta kicked the shit out of us. The Knicks went out there and they proved what we should have seen from the beginning is they need a true scorer, or at least a second option for a true scorer. I like Barrett, and he's going to be a good player. He's not there yet, and I don't know if he'll ever be that type of player. But R.J. Barrett's a good player and a good option on that team. But they need another guy who could score to take the pressure off Randall. Bullock gets hot, and he's great. But when he's not, he's not. I didn't like the fact they didn't play good defense, and I think that they let Atlanta get in their heads. They let the fact that they couldn't score get in their heads, and they didn't play good defense. But I will not step up and say that this team, yes, and they absolutely need a true point guard. Simple as that. Painfully evident is 100% correct, Matt, on that. The Knicks need a true point guard. Not draft one. They're going to have to go out and get one. I think they got $60 million in salary cap. They got, I think, 4 draft picks this year. I think it's 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s, if I'm not mistaken. The Knicks need to make a package, come out of there with an established point guard for this year, for next year. They cannot go into it. Julius Randle's a hell of a player. He needs help. I think what I saw this year is Julius Randle is probably a really good number 2 guy, and the Knicks could use a number 1 type player. That's my point. But I will tell you flat out, guys, I think this is a very successful season for Thibodeau. The Knicks, they found some good players. I think the future is extremely bright for this team. Easily will be a playoff team next year, probably. And a chance maybe to do some damage in the division, but they definitely need to get themselves a scorer and a point guard, and then develop what they have inside with Toppin, Barrett. I love Quickly. I think hopefully Robinson stays healthy. This is a good Knicks team for the future.
Well, listen, I'll tell you the truth, man. I would love to see the Knicks get back on track and become a successful team again. The NBA would be better for it.
Sure, absolutely.
It would make for more and different rivalries throughout the year. Yeah. And the deeper a New York team goes into the playoffs, it's better for everybody.
And you know what it would really be good for? Robert Saleh would have more places to have police escorts if the Knicks were good. Because you know he's a front runner.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, if the Knicks were bad, he would not get his police escort there. So, Matt, I agree with you right now. I don't think Toppin reminds me of Kenny Walker. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Kenny Skywalker. Skywalker was a great scorer at Kentucky in college. When he got to the pros, he could not find the basket if they dropped him into it. But Kenny Walker was a great rebounder, played good defense. I think Toppin's in that mold. He's a hell of an athlete, and I think they'll turn him into something. Do I think he's going to be a prolific scorer? I do not. I saw him shoot the basketball. He's not a good shooter of the basketball. So, but that's who Obi Toppin reminds me of, is Kenny Skywalker. And Skywalker, again, you can let him go out there. He jumped to the roof. He rebound, play defense. That's the kind of player I think Obi Toppin will be on this team. And every team needs that. You can't have 4 guys out there scoring baskets every night. It just doesn't work that way. 2 guys, 3 guys. Then you need a couple role players, guys banging the boards. I think Obi Toppin could be that kind of guy. So a good, successful season. Jeff, you can't tell me that a team that was supposed to win 25 games, maybe less, and goes out and wins 41, even though they shit the bed in the playoffs, did not have a successful season.
Oh, without a doubt. Never mind. Just for what they were the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
This was beyond a success. They might as well have won the NBA championship with the kind of season that they had.
Yeah. No doubt.
It was a toss-up if they were going to make it past Atlanta or not.
Yeah, it was definitely
They had a good chance to make it past Atlanta. Evidently, they didn't.
Yep.
But it gives them something to build on, something to strive for next year. I'm anticipating them being a much better team next year than they were this year.
I agree. I think next year it can be a 50-win team. Again, they need a true point guard, and I would love to see them get some sort of a scorer, somebody to take the burden off for Julius Randle. That would be my hope. So we'll see. But a good season. The Nets moved on. They beat the Celtics 4-1. They take on Milwaukee, who beat the Miami Heat 4-0. Should be a very good series moving forward. I think if the Nets can get through this series, I think this is their biggest challenge. I don't believe that the Sixers will be the biggest the challenge that the Milwaukee Bucks will be. I'm not a big fan of the basketball. I'll keep an eye on it, but I probably won't be watching much of the games. I don't like the NBA right now. I follow the Knicks, and that's it. The only thing I am rooting for is LeBron to lose and get knocked out of the playoffs because I hate LeBron.
It's such a shame, man.
Yeah.
You got to promote togetherness, man.
I'm sorry. I only promote,
just like Law and Braun together, man. LeBron.
Yeah, there you go. Let's move on from that. So we give you the little basketball. We'll do hockey next week. Jeff, just speaking of LeBron and the woke culture, the Edmonton Eskimos of the CFL are changing their name to the Edmonton Elks so they don't offend the Eskimos. Jeff, I did not know that the name Eskimos was offensive. Did you know?
No, neither did I. And I would think that the Eskimos would be delighted to know that there was a sports franchise, even in the CFL, that named themselves after the Eskimos, just giving them some sort of notoriety. I mean, where do Eskimos come from? Like Americans come from America, Italians come from Italy, Germans come from Germany. Where do Eskimos come from? Nobody knows that answer.
I don't know the answer to that.
It's like they've wandered the world with like trying to lure people to where they are to be like, come find us so we know where Eskimoville is or whatever. I don't know. And what about the Elks? Who stands for the Elks?
That's it, Jeff. Nobody stood for the Elks, Jeff. Nobody's back at the Elks back.
What about the guys that are in like the Elks Lodge?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Is this team named after them, or is it named after the animal, the Elks?
That's very true. Well, the answer.
Something to think about.
Hold on.
No?
Hold on. I'm writing something to you. I don't want to put on the air.
Oh boy. I don't even know what I wrote. So oh, okay.
That might be the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God, that's too much, man. Oh my God.
I wanted to say it on the air, but I said I wouldn't want them offending somebody, so I said screw it.
Fuck it, I'm gonna say it, man. How can you not say it? So Tommy claims that he heard a comedian, which I believe him, call the Eskimos snow Mexicans. Man, that's fucking great.
Dave Vitale, if you guys get a chance to listen to Dave.
Eskimos, better known as snow Mexicans.
I'm sorry.
Would they be considered Mexicans that made a wrong turn trying to come over the border and end up in like the North Pole or something? Is that what happened?
I guess so.
Snow Mexicans.
I thought that was the funniest thing I've
Oh my God. Oh God. That's fucking great. Snow Mexicans.
I had to share that with you. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think the woke culture. I don't think this is as big as the Redskins changing their name, but the CFL. Yes, I agree with you. I don't understand why this isn't offensive. Same thing for me. Why are the Cleveland Indians changing their name? I think that's getting glossed over. But at some point next year, I think the Cleveland Indians are no longer the Cleveland Indians.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, they're changing their name.
What are
The
they changing
Braves-
it?
I don't think it's been established yet. I have to look that up. I think only the Atlanta Braves are keeping the name at this point. But yeah, the Cleveland Indians are going to change their name.
Wow, that's disgusting. That is absolutely
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, I can't argue it. So, interesting part, but
Sports was always to me is a sense of entertainment, source of entertainment.
Yep.
The sense of innocence is within the team. Even some of the most hardcore names are met with somewhat of a cartoonish logo.
Yep.
For the most part, like even the meanest sounding of names has what could be a cartoonish type logo. It's like, come on, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I don't get it. Patrick is agreeing with me. Patrick, do you know what they changed it to? I thought they hadn't picked a new name yet, but and it seems like the Washington football team, they're going to go forward at least for next year as the Washington football team instead of
next year. When you say this year coming
this
up,
year
right?
coming up, yeah. And then there was a talk they was going to keep the name. I think that's that Daniel Snyder's big FU to the league.
Washington football team.
Yeah, instead of giving them a name, because there was a bunch of names that they were talking about, and some guy copyrighted them all. And ahead of that, then it was like a whole big thing. So, but yeah,
I hope that dickhead paid thousands for that.
Yeah, listen. At the end of the day, I don't understand it, and I want to before we only got about 15. I want to knock Joe Judge a little bit and the Giants. I'm going to knock them a little bit here. Surprising.
About time.
They only get about 8 or 10 or 12 of OTAs before training camp, before the mini camp. Then they have the Giants have decided that they're going to cut back on OTAs to 8. And I'm saying to myself, cut back for what? These guys practice a couple times a month during the off season. Why would you cut back on OTAs? I think to me you would be begging for more. Like, I just think that the codding of the athlete, we talked about it in baseball. Football's no different. And Jeff, we talk about time. The way they run the off season and training camp, these guys, the first 4 games of the season, you might as well mail it in.
Yeah, you're true, 100% true. I understand what you're saying, but I want you to think of this, okay? Think of when you got some of these guys that get hurt in training camp, like Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay,
his career changed.
I got it, but
And
when
a
you
non-contact injury.
I know, but what do you do? Wrap him in a bubble?
Darrell Reeves got hurt, non-contact injury. How many times you hear that phrase and you'd be like, these guys are out for the year. So, you know what? I don't know if I would even want to participate in anything unless it was an absolute must. And now you take one of the games, one of the preseason games, and you turn it into a real deal game that counts. You know, I don't understand why the owners would want to take that chance, and I just wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it.
I got it, but Jeff, then it's got to affect the product. You go into the first week of the season, the first month of the season, and the play of football is terrible. While basically they're using the first 4 games of the season as training camp.
Yeah, they are. You're 100% right. But you know what? They're still making money, and they don't give a fuck, Tom, because the bottom line is money. The bottom line is money. The only person that may actually care because they would get more money may be the owners.
Yeah, I get it. But I'm just reading Louis' thing here. I get it. The problem, like I said, I have is, especially teams like the Giants, who
the assistant quality control coach.
You get these. You get the cycle when you're starting to play better. To me, you want to get these guys on the field. Now, I think out of the they had about I think 50 guys on the roster right now. They had 25 guys showing up for OTAs, whatever it was, or maybe they have 80 guys and 40 guys who show up. Basically, it's 50% participation. To me, if the guys can't stay around for 2 extra practices or 4 extra practices or 4 extra OTAs, to me that's indicative of the team. I'm a little disappointed with Joe Judge that he did that. I would have rather them had it, even if 10 guys showed up. You work on something, you get something accomplished, you build some chemistry as a team, Jeff. And to me, cutting OTAs makes no sense.
Listen, while I understand what you're saying, I could see doing that in on one regard to just save wear and tear on the players. And you just don't know, like, in the beginning of the season in the NFL, you hear a lot of guys who tore a fucking hamstring, who tore a fucking Achilles, who blew out a knee. You do hear of some devastating injuries within the first couple of weeks on the NFL season, during the regular season. And then it seems to taper off a little bit. I mean, you still hear of guys getting hurt here and there, but I mean, in the beginning of the season, you hear a lot more until these guys get stretched out and everything else, and they're able to play some more. But I actually don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people will have a problem with it, will have an issue with it when it's their star quarterback or their star receiver who has to get a fucking kneecap transplant because it's now behind his hamstring because it got fucking belted around.
But think of it this way, Jeff. So now I agree with you. You're trying to save your guys from getting hurt, but aren't you putting your quarterback, or even some of your team in peril by not giving your offensive line a chance to work together and become a better unit where they'll block better for Barclays of the world, the Danny Joneses of the world, allow the receivers to get open? Aren't you really hurting your team and putting them in probably more danger than some walkthroughs or some one-on-one drills in an OTA?
It's possible, but I mean, once again, look at Teddy Bridgewater, where he almost died. Never mind almost his career almost ended. He almost died because of the injury he had. That's how significant his injury was. So even though I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you, I hear you, these guys are taking it the next step and thinking like, this guy got hurt standing still. He Jerry Presco'd himself.
Yeah.
What are you going to say to that? My knee.
My knee blowing bubbles.
Yeah. So, you got to think of that.
No, I get it from both sides. But to me, you can't prevent a player from getting on the field. Eventually, they have to get on the field. I'm not saying that they should be working pads and shoulder pads and helmets. I'm just saying is getting the work done, working out together as a team. Listen, they can wake up in the morning, walk out of bed, and pull tear in a hamstring, blow out an Achilles. I get all of that, but to me, I think by participating in the off-season training programs and getting better as a team, you create that the regular season, one, is a better product, but two, that you're actually protecting your team, because everybody's going to be on the same page a lot better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, listen, we're not the ones paying these guys.
Yeah, again, I had to bring it up. I was a little disappointed that Joe Judge cut those ones out. I think it would have been a good small move.
I should have brought this up earlier when we were talking about basketball. I know we don't have much time, but there's a guy that I just started working in my job. He's a seasonal, so he'll just be there for the summer.
Right.
And he's a big Brooklyn Nets fan.
Okay.
So we were talking about it. I'm like, Brooklyn Nets. I says, I says, you got James Harden. I says, didn't he just come off an injury? And Kyrie Irving was, standing up for everything under the sun during the offseason.
Yep.
And Kevin Durant, I can't remember the last time he played. Maybe I just don't pay attention enough because he said that he's been playing.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it seems as though that he came back just in time for the playoffs.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then he was telling me, I was like, but what about Kevin Durant? I says, I'm not Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving. I said, the guy doesn't give a fuck about the team. I said, he's like, oh no, it's okay because now he's back. He's back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you want him to dick off all year and then come back for the playoffs?
Correct. That's the problem with the New York Nets, or the Brooklyn Nets, excuse me. Is my biggest problem with them is they've treated the regular season like it doesn't matter. They play enough just to win games. Irving just decided I got a birthday party. I'm not going on a road trip. Durant is constantly hurt. Harden, I don't like what he did to get himself out of Houston. I would tell you that I think Harden's a decent guy and a decent ball player, but they have not been on the court enough, and they are the biggest representation of what I consider the problem in the NBA is you got the superstars who are dictating where they're going to play and who they're going to play with. They play when they feel like playing, and they're not coachable. I mean, I think it was Kyrie Irving when him and Durant got together, they were hiring the new coach, and Kyrie Irving basically said, we don't need a coach. We just kind of need somebody to control things, but we're good enough. We don't need a coach.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's what I'm fearing for the NFL, Jeff, by letting these quarterbacks dictate who they're going to be, who's going to be drafted. No, don't draft another quarterback, draft another position because, I don't want that. I don't want that. To me, that's where the NFL's headed if they allow what's going on in the NBA to get to their level.
Yeah, insane, man.
Yeah,
insane.
The Spurs started this a few years back with playing guys and giving them nights off. And I watched the Knicks, and the Knicks players played every single night. Unless there was an injury, they played every night. And I watched these Nets, and they are hard to root for because of just the attitude of, well, I don't feel like playing this weekend. I won't play. You're going to play, but you're not going to play. Yeah, I'm not a huge Brooklyn Nets fan. Now, they're on the court together. They're a tough team to beat. I'm picking Milwaukee in 7, but the Nets could easily win a championship this year.
Oh, hey, listen, it would help our area, so let's hope that they do it.
Absolutely. So, but I think we're going to wind this one down, guys. We have a couple things on the board, but it's 9:25. I want to get started on the end of my evening, and it's been a great show. I had a lot of fun tonight. Tonight was a blast.
Yeah, today was a funny show.
So, but
participation.
Yes, a lot of participation. We're very thankful for it. Thanks to everybody online who's paid attention to us tonight. Thanks for everybody behind the scenes here at the Hard Rock Sports Show for helping out. I want to thank all of my father for checking in tonight, and like I said, all the people online who have watched and participated. Again, good luck tomorrow to the Pika family. Lou and Marilyn's daughter is will be welcoming in a new. Good night, Patrick.
Good night, Patrick.
So we're looking forward to that. Congrats and good luck. And again, listen, guys, we'll be back next Thursday night right here.
Lou Pika's daughter's gonna have a grandchild or something?
Yes, first grandchild.
Oh, that's nice. Congratulations, Lou, if you're listening. I hope he turns out to be a Jet fan.
Thanks, Joan. Good night. I'm glad we made you laugh. Please tell everybody, tell your friends about the show. Let them know that we're here every Thursday. We're trying to make everybody laugh and educate you a little bit and inform you like that's what we do here. Jeff, I'll give you the final word.
I don't know. I don't think we informed anybody tonight.
Well, they learned about the snow Mexicans tonight.
Snow Mexicans.
You're welcome there, Gumati. Grandpa Gumati. That's my man.
That's cool, man. Hopefully you got a healthy baby coming, man.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters.
Jeff,
and hopefully you don't have to wait very long to see it either.
Yes.
The guy I work with, his daughter had a baby at Christmas time, went like 3 months before he was able to get near the baby. So hopefully you'll be able to see the baby soon, man. Right after it's born.
Absolutely, Lou. Make sure you keep us updated on all that. Guys, we'll be back next Thursday night. We do it all over again. We got a couple of guests. I'll announce them probably during the week, but we got a couple of guests. Thanks to Mark Scott from Trickster for letting me play his music to open the show tonight. Mark's a great guy and a good friend of the show, so thanks to him. Jeff, you got anything you want to add before we close it up?
No, man. Great show. A lot of laughs. We had a lot of people participate tonight. That's always great.
Yep.
Let's hopefully we do it again next week. And good luck, Lou and family. Yeah,
guys, remember Granny Four Barrel next Thursday night returns to the Hard Rock Show.
Boy.
The Granny's back in full costume next Thursday night. And Morpheus, the drummer from Mojo Alice, our good friends from New Zealand. We'll have a New Zealand band on with us next week. Live from New Zealand. We've got a band live from England. We've done one live from Australia, and now we got one from New Zealand.
And I must say, I'm hoping that our people that are listening to us in Israel, please tell a few of your friends to listen elsewhere, not with you, but listen to this show elsewhere so we could crack the 10% barrier, man.
Jeff is dying to get over 10% with the.
Oh, yeah, man. How cool is that? 10% in Israel?
Yes.
With everything that those people have going on in their lives right now, they're actually taking time out. 10% of our listening audience is taking time out and listening.
Yep.
Either that or they're piping in secret codes somehow through our show, and
That's very possible too.
you know,
It's very possible. So we do wish the people of Israel well, stay healthy, and yes, do keep listening and spread the word, guys. If you go to work, tell your friends about the Hard Rock and Sports Show. You pass it out to your family. We'd like to get more people listening to us every week and grow the show. So make sure
talk
you
about it when you go to synagogue, man. Talk about this.
There you go. Again, Norpheus from the drummer from Mojo Alice and Granny Four.
Is it a good idea to get little Hard Rock and Sports yarmulkes?
Yes, we can do that. 100%. 100%. We love the Jewish community, and we're thankful for everybody who listens. So thank you, all of you. And thanks for not taking it too seriously. Let us have a little fun tonight. But guys, the weekend's coming up. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Get out there, enjoy yourself, take the masks off, run the streets, screw Fauci, but make sure you stay safe. Wash your hands.
Fauci's on his way out, man. This guy seems a lot of stuff is starting to come to light. It looks like.
Yes, Mr. Fauci's not a fan favorite out there. I think both sides got the guns aimed at Tony Fauci. So
I think everybody's tired of getting the guns aimed at them. So might as well kill him.
Yes,
and start anew again. You know.
There you go. So, but guys, get outside. I see it every day. People were taking the masks off. Take it off. Get outside. Have some fun. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend. Enjoy a lot of good sports. Basketball, you got the Islanders. You're going to have some Nets games, Yankees, Mets. And then come on back next Thursday night when Jeff and I do this all over again with our guests, Granny Four Barrel, Terry Leroy, and Morpheus, the drummer from Mojo Alice, right here next Thursday night on the Hard Rock and Sports Show. So for Jeff Tolwinski, myself, everybody at the Hard Rock and Sports Show, we say thank you. Enjoy your night. Have a great weekend and an amazing week. We'll see you back here next Thursday night. Jeff. Talk to you up here.
You got it, bro. I'll talk to you soon, man.
You got it. Good night, everybody.
Later.